You know.
Hi, everybody. I was doing Dr. Nick impression, but I guess Eddie thought it was Dracula. Don't go to Dr. Acula, whatever you do. He just takes your blood.
Dr. Acula.
Put it on live?
Yep, we're on live.
Okay.
That was a Mitch Hedberg joke.
I missed it.
Yeah, turn off your volume.
Look, see, now it's fucking working.
Because you don't need it. That's
Your
why.
phone?
Hmm?
Your phone? It's only when it wants to work.
Gross. Tell Rebecca to settle down. She needs to calm down.
I think she could hear you.
Oh, okay.
Oh, that was a bad joke. Hey, Mitch Hedberg.
Count.
Turn your sound off, damn it.
Oh. The
Come on.
sauce.
This is like episode what? And Eddie still hasn't figured out.
Oh.
We need the volume down.
That's because I need an español.
Oh.
Yeah, SAP.
You put SAP. Put the sap.
The sap.
Pinche sap.
Never. Can't trust thoughts.
Oh. Oh, hold on. Am I saying... Check your phones to see if it...
What was it happened before we start?
Well, yeah.
Oh, there it is. Bam. Fixed it.
Oh, fuck it.
We are back.
No, pues. No, cabrón, una veces, I don't know.
No, pues wow.
I don't know, nomás push a button y luego nomás
Larry,
sube, no sé.
did you get a lot on the history of Centauri?
You know what? I didn't. I actually honestly forgot to look up anything. I do know that it's a blended whiskey. There's three different distilleries that are mixed in here. And the funny thing is that we were watching the stuff we were watching before.
Yeah.
I really liked Harmony. You really liked Harmony. It's the same three distilleries that are blended in that same whiskey.
Yeah.
So,
On that one?
Yes.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. So it's blended with the three same distillers.
Great blend.
Different whiskeys.
That's really
Delicious.
we'll start in a couple of minutes.
No, we're starting.
We're starting?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Just
We're gonna start.
put the record, I guess, button. And
Oh.
Can
I
start
mean,
whenever.
unless you want to start in a few minutes. I don't know what you were.
No me grites cerca.
Unless we're waiting for something.
Time. Sorry. Oh, shit. 1, 2, 3. What's going on, guys? Welcome to another episode of Whiskey Talk with Three Dudes. ¿Cómo están? How you guys doing? How was your week? I know it was a rough week this week, but let's pass that and let's get to whiskey.
What's it?
Konnichiwa, bitches.
I guess we'll talk about that.
Yeah, we can talk about that later.
Yeah, we'll talk about that. Yeah.
We'll get to the good part. We'll get to the good part of the week, which is the whiskey.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
We'll talk about that.
And I'm excited about this one. I've been waiting on this one.
You know what?
Since I saw it.
Yeah, I saw this one. So Japanese whiskey has been kind of a recent thing.
Yeah.
A lot. It's becoming a lot more popular.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen it start popping up a lot more. More people are getting excited about it.
Thanks to hipsters.
It might be.
Yeah, it might be.
Yeah, Japanese hipsters.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I was at Costco and I was actually looking for something else. I was actually looking for Yamazaki 12 just by chance in case they had it. I know my friend picked up quite a few bottles and they were going for a ridiculous amount of money on eBay because it's fairly hard to find. But I found that. And
do they have like a reserve of bottles they make, or any like 100 or 1,000?
No, I don't think it's limited at all. I think it's that popular and it's hard to find. Whenever people see it, they buy it up.
Wow, okay.
I mean, I saw some bottles going for close to $300.
Wow.
So it was pretty insane.
On eBay?
Yes.
Holy moly.
So and I
start a
think
GoFundMe page.
and I think
Nice.
I think my friend picked them up for like $68 a bottle.
Oh, nice.
So, I mean, I figured, it's one of those things, right? Like, rather than buy it just to sell it, I mean, I'd buy one just, maybe I buy two and then enjoy one and,
sell the other.
maybe sell the other one. I don't know. depending on how much I liked it.
Capitalism.
I mean, you got to figure, right? If people are willing to pay $300 for this, there's got to be something to it.
Oh,
or maybe
sure.
not.
For sure.
I guess that'd be a good thing to find
knows?
out. Some of the
Cohibas have that same effect. Where, I mean, I guess it's a thing where it's like it's hard to find, hard to get, so you're gonna pay the money to try to get it.
exactly.
People talk about Cohiba's the best, but I've heard that there's other cigars that are
I've had
Much better.
I've had much better cigars than Cohiba. Cohiba's they make excellent cigars. They make good quality cigars. Not really my first like go-to pick. Like if I could only have one cigar, that would not be it. It would probably be more along the lines of something from Dura State, but that's maybe that's another conversation for another time. But yeah, back to the whiskey, of course.
Yes.
This one again, I saw it at Costco. The price is very, very reasonable for a very popular whiskey. I believe I picked that one up for, I think it was like $32.
That's not bad.
No,
that's very.
Yeah, so
awesome.
so it's a very good. I'm comfortable with that price point, right? Like I can get it, and at least from the hype, I know people really like it. But if you don't like it, then $32 for a bottle of whiskey, like you'll find a friend that likes it.
You'll spend more money on a tank of gas.
Definitely these days. Yeah. So I think you looked this up. We were talking before.
Yeah.
I did not. I was terrible at trying to remember to look up some information on this.
So I went on their website, and it's kind of tricky to get the info because it's they try to make it look very.
It's very flashy.
Very flashy.
I've been on their website. It's very flashy. It's very very marketing focused.
Very. So I couldn't really get the full story. So like like Larry was saying, this is a blended whiskey, and it's from 3 different distilleries. I'm not exactly sure. I think that one of them's Nika.
That's the one you were asking about earlier.
Suntory. Right? Yeah, I don't know who the third one is. But Suntory Distillery, I guess it was founded in 1923 by Shinjiro Tori. And yeah, I guess that's who started, and that's when the whiskey making started happening in Japan. And I from what I know, I guess they're one of the first ones to start.
Yeah, they were
distilling.
The first distillery that got their distilling license in Japan
to do whiskey and stuff.
Yeah, so we were listening to a bit of the story, and there was kind of some conflict. So this guy originally went to Scotland to study Japanese whiskey. And then came back to Japan, and there was kind of a disagreement in terms of.
Well, he went to Scotland to study Scottish whiskey, no, not Japanese whiskey, because he said Japanese whiskey.
Oh well, I'm retarded. Yeah, so he went to go study Scotch, basically, and he came back. Somebody wanted to make Scotch. He wanted to kind of do something else, and that's I think the beginning of the different distilleries. I could be wrong, but I think that was the beginning of it.
Okay. Yeah. So
that's the video that I was watching, huh?
Yeah. It was the Whiskey Vault channel.
Yeah, I've been watching a lot of their videos here recently. Two really fun guys. They don't take themselves too seriously.
Are they mushrooms? Fun guys?
Yeah, they're a couple mushrooms.
Couple mushrooms?
Yeah, and they're actually starting their own distillery.
Nice.
So it's kind of a. So the channel is based out of a whiskey sommeliers course, and it's a non-profit channel, so they can't really talk about it. So they started another channel for the distillery because they're going to be doing some really small batch stuff, some experimental stuff. Nice. And yeah, I mean, I've just it's one of those things. I get into YouTube channels and tend to dig back and reference it. I mean, they have a huge collection of reviews.
Yeah, they were reviewing actually one of the whiskeys that Suntory makes. They were reviewing the Toki one. They had very good things to say about Toki, and they were reviewing the Hibiki Japanese Harmony.
Yeah, the Harmony.
I remember I told you guys when I came back from Tucson, that's one of the Japanese. That's the first Japanese whiskey I tried, and I was like, "Damn, this is some good whiskey," and they rave about it.
Yeah, they really like it. Which maybe we'll try to visit that. I at first it was one of those like, yeah, maybe I'll get around to it. If I like this bottle, I think we'll definitely be visiting that one because this is some pretty tasty whiskey.
Yeah,
yeah, it's really good.
Yeah,
just the smell when you open it, just the honey and like what we were talking about earlier, like it coats your palate.
So
it comes down
when you open the bottle and you take a big whiff of it, it smells exactly like, to me, a green apple covered in honey.
That's that's what it smells like.
That's pretty much what it smells like. They're supposed to have some basil notes. I didn't really get that.
No, not too much.
Maybe maybe what it was is since the opening on the bottle is so small, it concentrated the smells.
Yeah.
Maybe once you pour it and you actually smell it, you might get that.
Maybe we get those glasses. You probably get the.
The Glencairn glasses.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're looking to get.
We're looking into that. We'll get those glasses as well.
Glasses. But it's really interesting. It's a very light colored whiskey.
So you guys can see on Facebook Live.
Yeah. It's very strange. It almost looks like it's watered down in a way.
Yeah, it does. It does.
But it's not.
Almost like Jose Cuervo.
Yeah.
Almost.
It looks more like tequila than it does whiskey.
It really does. The website lists the color as clear gold, which that's what it looks like.
Yeah, that basically looks like it.
That's what it looks like.
And then on the palate, man, quite an experience. As far as being something different, I'm used to drinking a lot more bourbons, and we were talking about that. Like, I think I'm kind of stuck on bourbons for a little bit, so maybe we'll try to venture away from that. But there's a great mouthfeel to it. It almost just covers your entire palate in the flavors.
And such goodness.
And the flavors are very good.
The flavors are very good.
I mean, it's got a bit of a, to me, it has kind of a bit of a sourness, like. But so we were talking in referencing the video. They mentioned it on the website. We agreed as well. The flavor, there's a flavor that's not really a flavor, but really more of a kind of a texture.
Yeah.
Which is, if you ever eaten a green grape, the skin of the green grape is basically what you get on the finish
afterwards. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's very interesting. Another thing in at least looking up some of it, this is meant to the way it's marketed. They really push for this to be done in a highball.
Yep.
So we'll try that next time we visit this whiskey.
So when you talk about highball, what do you mean?
So a highball is it's in a highball glass, so it's a thinner glass, a little bit taller.
Okay.
You fill it with ice, an ounce and a half of whiskey, and then the rest is club soda. Squeeze a lime, and you have a highball.
Oh,
easiest drink to make.
Yeah, delicious.
I'll try that.
But yeah, it would be worth trying.
I like when we do this because I learn more about how we research the whiskey, and then now how the highball and stuff, it just like opens my eyes, and trying to see.
Yeah.
I think eventually we'll implement that.
We'll venture into cocktails. I picked up some stuff to try some old fashions and see what we prefer in terms of that, because that's a whole nother world. Yeah. And
eventually we're also going to take a trip down to one of my favorite bars. It's a local bar in downtown Riverside called the Wobskill, and they specialize in craft cocktails. If you want to be kind of snooty about it, but they specialize in drinks. Very good drinks.
I'm telling you,
Eddie finished his glass.
I poured very little, just so, because I know we don't like drinking it.
What's good about this whiskey, or it's that you could drink it like that and it's fine. I haven't tried it with the ice yet, or with water.
I don't really,
I don't really want to, because I actually like it the way it is.
Exactly. That's why I poured so little, because I know we all like to drink it in different ways. I like to start out drinking it neat, just to get more of the experience.
Yeah,
but if you don't like it neat, you can power through the very light pour and then do whatever you want. I added a little bit of water to it, and it does change the flavor a little bit.
Just a little bit.
Does it?
Yeah, in a good way, not in a unbearable this just turned terrible.
Even by itself, it's not unbearable. It's like
so. This is a very good whiskey. I would recommend to somebody that
starting out. Maybe.
Yeah, it's very light.
Yeah.
It's not intimidating at all. It's not. There's some complexity there in the flavors, but it's not like too complex to where it'll go over your head and you just don't get it.
Yeah.
Overall, man, for $30, $32, it's
quite the value.
Yeah. I think that's one of them that we'll eventually get back around to. I think sooner than later, because I think we all agree that it's pretty delicious.
Yeah, it is.
It really is.
Yeah. So, any other notes? Anything?
Well,
else?
online it lists as far as the palate: grapefruit, green grapes, peppermint, thyme. As far as the finish, it's subtly sweet and spicy finish with a hint of vanilla oak, white pepper, and ginger.
Yeah. So the I do get the grapefruit, but again, some of the flavor, but more of the mouthfeel of grapefruit. where you get kind of the sour feeling.
Yeah.
But it's not like I don't know. Sour seems kind of like like it could go either way. Like it sounds like it might be bad, but not in a bad way.
Not a bad way.
No.
Refreshing.
It's in a very good way. I could definitely see where this cold with some club soda would be awesome as a summer drink.
I agree. Something
eating
citrusy.
Yeah.
sushi would be great.
Oh
with
yeah.
this.
Yeah, definitely.
I think that would be. I definitely want that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's very bright.
That would have been cool. I think we should do that. Incorporate food with the whiskey one of these days.
Oh,
and
Eddie
just-
did make some wings earlier and
Oh,
some
I did,
chicken.
yeah.
It was delicious.
Oh,
I gotta say.
see, that would have been good too.
I know we
Some,
should try it with the.
Should we bring the wings out? I don't know.
No.
No.
Yeah, eat on the
Let's
mic. Eat on.
Yeah, annoy people.
Yeah.
I can't
No.
touch anything because got wings all over your
Yeah.
fingers.
Yeah, it's bad enough we're drinking on the microphone, but hey, we get a pass. We don't make too many slurping sounds or anything.
No, we can't.
Yeah. Although this, we might be doing that.
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna add some ice to this just
I
to
was thinking
try
the
it
same
out and see what that does. The giant ice cubes here.
Going in the words of Guy Fieri, we're going
Going to
Flavor Town.
going to Flavor Town. Yeah, and it's funny because you can see right away that it's.
Damn, I like this.
Is it?
There you go.
Aren't these cool?
Yeah,
Like,
they're
These are
awesome.
Super dope.
God
yeah,
damn it.
and they're,
Sorry.
Where'd you find these?
on Amazon.
Amazon.
They're 2-inch by 2-inch ice cube molds, and they make giant ice cube molds. And the cool thing is they don't melt very fast.
Yeah.
I've said it before. I pour a couple in this and then just fill it up, and I still have ice in here.
That's insane.
So because it cools down the water and it retains the
yeah.
cold,
And it's
doesn't
totally
water
that thick
down.
out. You don't have to be like cracking it like you do the normal
Yeah,
ice cubes.
yeah. No, that's yeah. I didn't want to get the whiskey balls look cool, but it's just
Yeah.
too much work.
It's impractical.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's
Well, the
impractical.
one that I brought last time, the
bullet ones.
The bullet ones.
Those were,
yeah.
no.
Those had
It's
potential. They look
Very
cool.
gimmicky.
Yeah, they look
Yeah,
cool.
they're-
They just didn't really.
So I think with the ice, it's a little more dangerous because it's a lot. Yeah.
It's refreshing now. I think
Oh,
so.
yeah.
Right?
Wow.
It's a summer drink.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Perfect for today for
Great.
Friday.
I mean, yeah, I can see why they market this as something that would go well in a highball.
Oh yeah.
yeah.
The flavors
Added ice.
don't like it. To me, it all the sweet flavors, like the sourness, tones down.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of the I mean, you get a ton of sweetness. Almost more than a bourbon.
It's not like but it's not like it's not overbearing.
No. It's not syrupy. It's not.
No.
I mean,
Yeah, it's-
even in the bottle, you can tell it's very light.
Yeah.
On the pour, it's the same way. It's very light. The flavors are great. They don't stick around too long.
Yeah.
That is one thing. It finishes very fast, but it's very refreshing and on
It
ice.
is.
I think.
Right now, yeah. Like you were saying, it brings
Yeah.
out the flavors even more. I think so.
Eddie and I had a blended whiskey. I think it was the Cold Cock.
Oh, yeah, the cold cock.
Yeah, that one was a little too sweet. Like that one I had to water down.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, 'cause-
this Centauri Toki's not
Not necessary. Not. It's wow.
It's
You can
light,
drink this.
mild. It's like nice.
You can drink this either way, neat or on ice. I think. For me, I would prefer it. It depends on the day. Right now,
Ice.
after a hot day on ice,
Yeah.
it's beautiful.
It's very refreshing.
Yeah,
Love it. There goes a blender driving down the street.
yeah. All right. So, I mean, you guys got any other notes on the?
No,
on
I
the
mean,
whiskey?
I definitely recommend this one as well.
yes.
I'm
yes.
kind of,
Yeah,
dude.
I do too.
We've been trying some pretty bomb whiskeys.
I'm
lately.
impressed.
Yeah.
Like I'm waiting for the one that we try and we don't like.
Yeah.
We're set for that one.
Well,
I think Eddie and I,
we
in the
can-
beginning,
mhm.
in the
Really?
beginning, we did,
Yeah, we
yeah,
had Jack
kind of went
Daniels.
Yeah, Jack Daniels.
Oh, we've got the giant bottle.
Oh,
of Jack
I know,
Daniels,
I-
too.
Should we bring it into the shot?
No. Jack Daniels is
You know-
for me. Jack Daniels is good with
Coke.
it's good with Coke.
Yeah,
I'll
I
drink
agree.
it that way.
I don't know.
But I
still
prefer
Crown.
Crown and Coke.
Yeah, I was
yeah.
gonna say, I
yeah.
prefer Crown.
Like, this doesn't make no justice. Do not mix this with anything.
Oh God,
Just
no.
by itself, it's
No. If you mix it with anything, mix it with club soda.
Oh,
that
oh.
would probably be good. Again, in the highball, we're definitely gonna have to try that because I think that Jen was asking me too the other day. She's like, I know you have a few whiskeys. She's like, well, which one? Like, she's not a huge fan of whiskey.
yeah.
I think maybe she's a little bit intimidated by it, and I can understand it at times. Before I kind of was too. Now I get it. after trying a few and not trying to pound them and take small sips and enjoying it for what it is.
Yeah.
But she was asking me in terms of something to try. I think one of these she might like it if she's open
might.
to it.
She will, yeah.
Especially in the highball.
Yeah. Yeah, I think she will. I mean, just with ice by itself, because she didn't like. I tried Crown Royal Black with some of the LaCroix.
Yeah.
Remember we did that. She wasn't a huge fan of that, but I think Crown Royal is still like the flavors are stronger. There's more.
Yeah.
There's a lot more stronger flavors. This I think is a lot more manageable.
I think like my wife, she likes the Crown Royal green apple.
Yeah.
That's her. That's just a go.
I have green apple. I have Crown Royal maple. I have not opened it.
I got the vanilla one. I haven't opened it either.
Don't do the maple.
Is it really that bad?
I didn't like it.
I'm kind of scared of it because it has the potential to be bad.
Well, to me it was bad.
Well, and you know what I saw at the checkout at Bevmo today was Crown Royal. Okay.
Was it Carlos?
No, it was Rebecca. She said those chairs look sad.
Well, they're in line. They're in line with our budget.
Yeah.
we spent all our money on making it sound good for Facebook, and we have none left for chairs.
Our asses are suffering, but we're doing it for you guys.
Yeah.
Well, it makes it so we don't talk too long, right? So after a couple, if the chairs were too comfortable, we'd be here for 3 or 4 hours.
Shit. I know.
Yeah. So
That'd still be a good time too.
it would be.
It would be.
Maybe we'll look into that. We'll look into that.
Well, we always reference to Joe Rogan. Some of those go 3 to 4 hours.
Yeah.
But, no.
It's because they have comfortable chairs. That's why
They do.
Yeah.
They really do. So we were talking about shit. I just
Oh,
lost my train of
no.
thought.
I was saying that at the checkout, I saw Crown Royal salted caramel.
What?
Salted caramel?
I like salted caramel, ice cream. But
yes.
I don't know.
I'll
give it a try.
With the finished whiskeys, like if it was one of the mini bottles, I probably would have picked up a couple just so we could try it, kind of off air and see if we liked it.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I have a hard time investing in a whiskey that's finished like that, like flavored. I'm not sold on that just yet.
I think that's just a gimmick, It's just
Of course.
that's all it is. But
Yeah.
it just sounds fun. Just shoot
Yeah.
some bigs.
Yeah.
I mean, it's one of those things, right? Like you think about it and say, well, what do I even mix this with? Because I think that's what they're intended for, right? I don't know if they're intended to just drink like that.
Because if it is,
so,
man,
yeah, I
I
don't
want
know.
to see a guy drink it like that.
Yeah.
Because
I
I
don't
wouldn't.
know.
I can't stop serving myself.
Hey, that's
Me neither. I'm trying to.
So I was kind of thinking about it the other day, and that's
I'm good right now.
I guess we don't need a scale of how of a whiskey rating. Just watch the just watch the bottle.
Watch how many times we
exactly.
We should probably start posting when we finish our whiskey talk and take a picture of the bottle and then rate it.
Yeah,
That's a good idea.
Yeah, I don't think we need an actual rating. Just look at how empty the bottle is. And that'll
last
give you
week
good
we
idea.
almost
That's
finished it.
the Buffalo Trace.
Yeah.
The Buffalo Trace was
Yeah,
delicious.
Delicious.
Absolutely. Yeah, and that I've been getting a lot of recommendations from people on a couple of Facebook groups that people will ask about whiskey and whatnot. A lot of those names there's a lot of names that keep coming up.
Yeah.
I won't give away a whole lot of them because then we'll keep things exciting.
Yeah.
But I have a few ideas, mostly bourbons. I've noticed like we were talking earlier. I'm gonna try to not pick up a bourbon next time.
Okay.
Because it's too easy.
Oh,
we've been
Next week I'll pick up Templeton.
I did notice we haven't done any ryes.
That'd be nice.
Rye whiskey is one of my favorite whiskey.
Yeah.
To be honest.
So the monkey shoulder, what kind is that?
That's
Is
a
that-
Scotch.
That's Scotch.
That's Scotch.
Yeah.
It's really good Scotch too.
It's for
Excellent.
it's very highly recommended from a lot of people that
Yeah.
in the same groups again that and the Whiskey Vault guys really like it too.
Yeah. Monkey shoulder's good.
Yeah, it
I've been
comes
hearing a lot of good.
really recommended in terms of
Rabbit.
Just looking for my mic volume. I don't feel like it's a little low. I have a soft voice. That's the thing with me. It's just
There you go.
I can turn it up a little bit. I
just a
think
little
that's
bit.
good.
Yeah. That's good.
Yeah. So let's see.
But we'll try some ryes. But Templeton's my favorite. I like to order when I order I like to have a Sazerac.
I saw there was a Sazerac rye.
Yes.
I saw that.
Mm-hmm.
I almost grabbed it, but I was like, maybe it's just one of those ones that it says it's what it's for, and maybe it's not that great because of it. I've never tried it by itself.
When I was in Tucson, I went to that whiskey bar, and the gentleman there, he recommended the Sazerac rye. He said it's a really good rye. It's basically, I think it's pretty much, it's a rye. It's a Sazerac in a bottle, pretty much. Is what he said.
Oh, okay.
It's good though. It's what he said. I didn't get to try it.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and that's another thing for old fashions. People will have debated that, like, do you use a rye? Do you use a bourbon?
It's just your preference, really.
Yeah. So maybe
Ryes are very spicy.
Yeah, yeah. So that should be interesting. It'll be different. Definitely a change from bourbons for sure.
So let's talk about your hunting trip, man.
Yeah.
Oh man. So yeah, friend of mine. Well, so funny thing is this guy used to be my boss when I worked in El Segundo. And we kind of lost touch for a little bit. I went overseas shortly after I stopped working for them.
Yeah.
And I came back, but he actually he's into guns, so he's a shooter. I didn't know this at the time when I was working there, but he hit me up. We've gone shooting a few times. We go to the same range where we shoot tactical pistol matches and 3-gun.
Yeah.
And
That's the thing that you and Carlos do, right?
Yeah,
Our other buddy Carlos.
yeah. So we usually go once a month. Those are a lot of fun. But yeah, he's the one that told me about it, and he actually lives in Long Beach, so he drives quite a long way. He doesn't go as often because it's a long drive. But he hit me up a couple weeks ago, and he said that one of the other guys that goes shooting, he usually brings a friend as well,
Right.
his friend Travis, and he actually owns some. There's property in his family that's up north. It's in the San Miguel area, kind of like in a little bit past Coalinga.
Okay.
Weird parts of California that I never knew existed.
Yeah.
Because they mentioned
Even
it,
by
I
the
was like,
pictures, it looked like you're up like in the Wild Wild West out there.
So there was, I believe, if I'm remembering correctly, there was something like 2,200 acres.
Oh wow.
Wow.
And it wasn't anything. I mean, it wasn't what I pictured it was going to be in terms of like just a bunch of land that was pretty flat. Like, no, there was like a lot of flats, a lot of hills, a lot of trails. I mean, there was basically just a trail where we would drive up and kind of a dirt road that would go up and down hills and whatnot. So we left on Friday, and we got there. I want to say at about midnight to wake up at 4 a.m. the next day.
What?
Cool.
How long was the drive?
It actually wasn't very far. I want to say maybe it was about 4 hours.
4 hours. Okay.
I think
Do
maybe
you guys go
4.5
out and
hours.
camp, or you guys?
So there's a house on the property. There's a
Okay.
couple of houses. So I didn't know what to expect. I thought we were going to be like in a shack or just like a tent or in the middle of nowhere. But no, there's a couple of houses there on the property. One of them belonging to, or one of them, there's a caretaker on the property that that lives there.
Yeah.
And then the other house, I guess, there was for people that go and stay. So we get up the next day at 4 a.m, and there's a couple of spots. So this guy kind of he kind of grew up going out in that land a lot. So he's familiar with it, and he knew a couple of spots that we'd check out. And it's basically you get out there and it's dark, and it's out in it's in the middle of nowhere. It's there's no cell reception, are very very spotty.
Yeah.
Only when you get to like the high parts. But the best part about it is there was very little light pollution. So the stars were amazing. The only other time I've seen them like that was when I was overseas, and because there wasn't a whole lot of light pollution there.
Yeah.
So there's that, and you're kind of just you sit and you just kind of stay quiet and you try to get adjusted and you try to figure out where the pigs move from. So the pigs will move in a group of, depending on how many there are. They split up. So 2 of us split up. There was 4 of us, Travis and his son, and then my friend Jason and I. And we split up. Jason and I were on one side of the hill, and they kept going up. and they set up on another spot. They ended up seeing a group of about 10 pigs. He took a shot at one of them, and he didn't get it. And then we just kind of waited around. I think the pigs actually headed in a different direction. We didn't see him. We definitely heard the shot though, but we kept our eyes open to make sure that they were running towards us in case they were, but they didn't. We totally missed him. And it was a lot of that. It was kind of just driving around looking for tracks, seeing where the areas where they bed down. Yeah.
Pig scat.
Some of that. We saw a lot of coyotes, a lot of coyote poop.
So I've heard that you can hunt coyotes without any limit.
Yeah, they're basically considered like a varmint.
Yeah,
so
because so many of them.
Once again, referring back to a Joe Rogan podcast, I forgot whose guest it was, but they say that when you kill a coyote, when you hear them howl, they're doing a roll call.
Oh yeah.
So if they're doing a roll call and if there's someone's missing, then that triggers the females to produce a much bigger litter.
Yeah.
To replace.
So they can replace that.
Oh
one.
yeah.
That's crazy.
And it was crazy because right at around so we're waiting around. We watch the sun come up and kind of like 30 minutes after the sun comes up, you're pretty much done. You're not going to see anything. So we're kind of waiting around. We're hiking back up, and we hear the coyotes wake up, and it's insane. It sounded like there was, I don't know, 20 or 30 of them in the distance, and it was loud.
It's eerie.
Like there was a lot of them.
Yeah.
So it was pretty crazy. It's not something you hear every day. So at least not here anymore.
Not here. No.
No.
Yeah. So it was that part of it was cool. We head back. We just kind of hang out. We watched Predator. Because there was nothing not a whole lot else.
Get to the chopper.
Yeah, watched Predator, took a nap, and got ready for kind of the afternoon.
That's so fun. I had no idea. That's the picture I used for the post on Facebook and Instagram. And so you guys did watch Predator. That's
I ended
funny.
up watching Predator.
I had no idea.
Totally random. Like
that is random.
Yeah. So we got ready for the rest of the day, and then that was pretty much the process for the rest of the couple of days. Just kind of, head out and kind of wait around in different spots that we checked out. I think on not the very last day, because the very last day we left like in the morning, kind of like in the before noon.
Yeah.
But that day we had a huge area of land covered. There was kind of a mountain. Not really a mountain, but kind of like a hillside.
Yeah.
Where it was going uphill. My friend Jason, we all kind of split up. Jason took the top part of the hill where we saw some tracks. I went further down the hill and took some tracks saw some tracks that kind of like were an area where they were kind of funneling.
Yeah.
So I took that area, and then Travis and his son went further down. So we had a huge area covered, and we figured for sure we're going to see something.
Yeah.
And we sat there and we waited, and we didn't. The only thing I saw was a bunch of quails. And he said that, they're funny little birds. He said that
they have that little feather on their forehead, right?
Yeah. So he said that, that they get quite a few quails there, and I could see why. Because, you're sitting on a hillside, you got kind of bored. There's about a group of 6 or 7 quails heading towards me. And they were close, man. I want to say they were probably from here to where like that little bike is, so maybe about like what, 10 feet away?
10 feet away.
Yeah. And they weren't really scared or anything. One of them got by a bush, and I picked up a rock and threw it at the bush to see if the noise would scare it.
Yeah.
And it didn't. It just kind of stayed there.
So are they used to humans being there? Or
no, they're definitely not. They're just not. They're just funny. They're not scared.
Either they're not scared or they're not very bright.
I think they're not very bright.
They're thug pigeons.
They're thug life?
Yeah.
Thug life pigeons?
They're not very. It's funny because they have like really. It almost sounds like they have really stubby wings, and they flap them really fast to fly away. They're really cool birds. So hopefully, I think he said that once it's quail season, we'll head back up there, and we'll actually get some quail.
I don't know if I've ever tried quails. Quail pretty
they're supposed
good.
to be pretty good. We saw. No, I forget what they are. No, because
Gordonices.
No, those are Cornish game hens.
Cornish game hens.
Okay.
Yeah.
I forget what they are. I'll look it up later. but we saw one pig the whole time. That I saw.
Yeah.
So we were driving back, and under one of the trees, there was kind of a so probably from here to like, I don't know, maybe like 10, 15 feet away, on the side of the road under a tree, there was a pig there, and he was just kind of like hanging out, like, what's going on here? We had our rifles in the truck because he said that he's the most of the time you see him when you're driving around, you're not even paying attention, you're not looking for him. And we saw one, and as I was rolling down the window got like 3/4 of the way down. I was gonna take the shot, and he just takes off.
Oh fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that, I mean, I had the shot because the guy was driving. I was on the driver's side, and he was on that side too. So I would have had the shot if my window was down the entire time.
Ah, damn it.
So no piggy for me. The
Be
entire
prepared
weekend.
at all times.
Yes, definitely. So the best part about it, I mean, yeah, it was, it was hunting. It was something new. The best part about it, man, was genuinely just being outside.
Yeah, that's something you probably missed.
Yeah.
'Cause I know you're.
I haven't been outside like that in quite a few years. And it's just, it's such a great feeling, like being out that early. You watch the sun come up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You feel the freshness in the
Yeah,
morning,
the
the fresh air. Just
The air changes.
The colors
and you
too when
start-
it comes up.
the
and-
sounds and everything, the skies, like, pink and blue, and it's really crazy. Like, it was just amazing to wake up that early and be outside and walk around. There was a lot of there's a lot of hiking around for me. I'm not in the greatest of shape, but I still made it up
you survived.
I made it up the hills where I had gone down, because going down is the easy part.
Yeah,
and
but
going
back up is a little more rough.
My favorite part about going like camping is when I have no reception. Like, I
It was
love
nice.
to be able to disconnect.
It was nice.
Yeah.
It's very
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah.
You totally forget about it, and then like
Well-
you don't even miss your phone at all, dude. Like, you don't.
Yeah, you
you're
don't.
up there.
That's
You're
right.
just in the best part. You're in the moment.
Absolutely.
With the people you're with.
Yeah, the only time I felt like
And
that is when
surroundings.
we went on a cruise, and when you go up, you have to pay for the thing, but you don't want to pay. That's like $30 a day or something like that. So it's crazy. So
Oh,
you're
for-
out there
for
and then-
reception?
Yeah, for reception.
Well, for
But-
Wi-Fi.
Yeah,
For Wi-Fi.
yeah, for Wi-Fi. But like you said, it's amazing because you do enjoy the people around you more because you start engaging in conversation more, and you listen.
Well, we were split up.
Cool.
At least for the second day, we were split up, and there's not a whole lot of conversation because you're just trying to stay quiet. But
Well,
just,
I'm saying like when you guys were at the house or
oh
something.
yeah,
like that, you
yeah,
know?
of course. Like, when we were hanging out, and we made dinner. We actually made for dinner. We had a tri-tip.
Nice.
And it came out great. It was a feast, man.
How'd you guys prepare it?
He had actually marinated it, so there was some marinade on it. But the crazy thing, and I'll have to ask him which one it was exactly, because it was delicious. He used Bloody Mary mix.
Really?
Interesting.
Yeah, and we tried it. Like, first he passed it around. He's like, "Look, if none of you, like, if one of you doesn't like it, we won't do it." He's like, "But I put this on like a lot of my meats that
So
I
was he just experimenting?
No, he
usually
does. He usually does. Yeah, he usually does it. So we tried it, and I was like, "Wow, dude, this is good." It was strong.
Yeah.
But I figured by the time it was on the meat and it marinated in, it wouldn't be as strong. But the flavor was really good. So I'll have to ask him exactly.
Did he make
what
his own Bloody Mary mix, or was it?
No,
I was gonna ask him.
I think it was one that was already purchased because
Okay.
it was in a bottle and it had a
Okay.
label, but I just don't remember what the name of it was.
There's a popular one I think here locally called Ojo Rojo. I think.
Yeah, I see that being
definitely
marinated
wasn't
with
that one.
different-
It wasn't that one.
No,
Okay.
it definitely wasn't that one. But it was awesome. But yeah, I mean, it was great, man. Just being out. I mean, even just like I said, just sitting on the side of a hill and just kind of like taking in the scenery and
Yeah.
and just watching everything and seeing the nature around you.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And mind you were in California. So did it feel like a different
It felt like a different
world,
It felt like a different state.
different
it really
state,
did.
different country?
Yeah, it felt like a different state, man. It was not Southern California for
Yeah.
sure.
No pretentious.
No,
people.
no. Plus the the people I went with were awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, he said he goes quite often.
Yeah.
If I had access to something like that, I'd go often too, just to.
Yeah,
That's
just
a dream to
get
have
away.
that much land to do whatever you want on that land. To go hunting, go fishing, go whatever you
Yeah.
want to do on your own land.
Yeah.
I think that should be definitely a goal for anybody really.
Yeah, no, for
It's
sure.
part of the American dream, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know if I mean I don't know about that much land because I mean it was, you know, you hear mention like, oh yeah, 2,200 acres, but you have no idea. Like we didn't travel all of it. We didn't see all of it, and we were there for a few days, and it was pretty huge.
Well, how big is an acre? Would you say?
I would not
Square acre.
I don't think I looked it up.
Goggle it.
Yeah.
Goggle it. Let's.
Yeah,
yeah,
we
let's-
have to
let's,
goggle it. I didn't look that up, but you know, I didn't. You know, we had talked about a while back trying to get some land out in the desert, a couple hundred acres, and even that's pretty big.
Yeah.
But yeah, the amount of land that was out there was pretty amazing. It was really cool. Like I said, you know, just being out there and and seeing different stuff, and we actually noticed that. So the tire tracks when we had gone up,
Yeah.
we saw so as we were walking down, you know, we saw the tire tracks obviously, but we saw hoof prints, we saw coyote prints kind of off to the side coming back up the hill. So I came up the hill first because Travis and them had gone down further, but I knew they were in way better shape than I am, so they could so I was like, yeah, it's probably gonna take me a little bit longer. So I walked up, and they came back and they were like, dude, like we saw some coyote prints, like I think they followed you up. I was like, no, because I saw the coyote prints on the tire tracks too, so they must have followed us.
By, yeah.
They had followed us when we were going up in the truck.
Coyotes are very intelligent creatures, man.
So that's the thing, is we were like, dude, like they know, like there's hunters, they know they're gonna eat, you know, like they're that
So
smart.
following you
And,
and just-
the thing is Travis is the only one that goes up there and hunts. So I mean, it's not often that the place gets hunted.
Yeah.
So they
I'm
knew.
pretty sure they've seen him when he gets a couple of pigs.
They
or
pass on
something,
stories to their young.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They killed two
Storytelling.
yesterday. No.
Yeah. So we were getting ready to leave, and I heard them squealing, kind of like there's a watering hole not far from here. We had pulled the truck over.
Right.
Yeah.
And we had pigs are very smart. We had started headed down, and I think we headed down far enough to where they actually might have even just bypassed us. They went around us as we were going down. So what we think happened is the reason why we didn't see anything is because we set the truck at the top of the hill. Maybe they saw the truck and they didn't go down the normal path. Because
They didn't want to be seen, so they went around.
yeah, they just saw something unusual. They didn't like it, and then just kind of stuck around in the same area
That's
until they
interesting.
saw that we moved, and then they went. You know.
They're smart creatures, man.
Yeah, they
So
are.
in an acre, there is 43,560 square feet.
Yeah.
What does that equate to in
Football
miles?
I'll have a
Let's see, 43.5. What did I say? 60
Yeah, I think so.
feet to miles. Let's see. 0.00156. So it's not exactly a mile. It's not.
It's like
It's
a
not anywhere
mile.
near a mile.
Yeah.
But still, I mean, 22,000.
Yeah.
You said 22,000, right?
No, 2,200.
22. Oh, 2,200.
Yeah, no, 22,000 would have been
That-
insane.
Quite a bit.
Yeah.
Let's see. Multiplied by 2,200.
Oh.
Let's see. We got 95,000. Oh no, sorry. Yeah, no. 95,832,000
Square feet.
square feet.
Square feet.
Wow.
Wow.
That's pretty
Yeah.
That's a lot.
big. Yeah. So
That's a lot of rulers.
it is. It's a lot of. I was thinking of 1 square foot tiles.
Well, that too.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, it was cool. It was a lot of fun. It was kind of puts you in a good mood when you come back, because you kind of have time to disconnect and not
Yeah.
worry so much about everything else going on.
Yeah. So we have our neighbor up front that wants to show off his truck, but
Uh-huh.
Oh,
Every
okay.
Saturday, if you guys want to show, yeah, come here. He'll be
so
here.
it's about 3 square miles.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
That
That's
makes-
still pretty big.
yeah, it is
Pretty big
good.
chunk of land to have in California.
Yeah, definitely.
So we're planning to take a trip up to Santa Barbara, Sylvan area, and drive up there. It's gorgeous, man. Drive
Yeah.
through a bunch of ranch land, and it's alien, man. I remember my drive back from Arizona. I took the 8 back, and it's a part of Arizona, part of California. I had no idea existed. I was like, this is still
Is that one
California. This
that
is crazy.
passes next to the border, right? Or no?
Well, the 10 passes through the border. What do you mean, like? Oh, you mean like Mexico?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it passes. Yeah, it does pass by there.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
I haven't been there.
Yeah, it's a pretty cool drive to drive through. You're like,
Yeah.
what?
Yeah, but a lot of the so some of the areas that were there were used as ranch land. Like there was some, as we were heading out, there's some cattle and stuff in the area. And yeah, I mean it's not, you can see the difference in the land of where the cattle had been, because the grass was real short, and where we were at, it was plenty long. So there was a couple areas we saw some deer. So there was a couple areas where we knew there was deer, just from the tracks.
Now, can you hunt
yeah,
those,
that's what
or
we're
there's a
asking.
certain season you can hunt those?
Officially or unofficially? So officially there's a season, but unofficially, when you have that much land,
Nobody's gonna really check.
You can pretty much do whatever you want, and nobody's gonna.
Venison
nobody's
is
gonna
so
know.
good. I love eating deer. Eating deer is
It's
so
been a
good.
long time since I think the last time I ate.
Go to Rosarito, man.
Yeah,
They
I
have-
went to Mexico and that's where I had it. They have
Oh, okay.
tacos,
Yeah.
venison tacos.
Yeah, I have a family member that's up north. I don't know exactly where, but up in Northern California, and he goes deer hunting all the time. So I'll hit him up, see if I can tag
That'd be
along.
cool.
You know
I
what's
have-
good is a venison liver. I like liver. I like
Liver and onions.
Yeah, I love. Yeah,
I
ever
never
since I was a
had
kid.
that.
I don't know. It's weird.
I'm not a fan of.
I'm a
liver
fan
and
of liver
onions.
and onions, but if you have venison, liver, and onions, it's so good.
Yeah.
Is it white onions or red onions?
It's really your preference, but I
Really?
usually have white onions. Yeah,
Yeah. You know what I probably
Well,
try
I'm
is
just saying.
yellow onions.
yellow onions.
I've noticed that, like, in other cooking, like, just when you saute them and they start to caramelize, they're
They're
a lot
sweet.
sweeter. Yeah.
Really, I would
Aren't
think
they
the
also known as
red onions
Vidalia?
would be a little bit more sweeter.
No, no. So
No?
the Vidalia, I think it's Vidalia.
Yeah.
So,
Those are really good. The red onions, I like those when they're in lemon
Oh yeah.
and salt and oregano and just kind of
Oh yeah.
yeah.
kind of pickled per se, and they're pretty good.
Yeah, those are
Pretty
delicious.
bomb on tacos, on
So-
mole.
yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh, getting hungry. So hungry.
There's a taco spot over here, down the street later.
Yeah, we'll probably hit it up afterwards.
Oh man.
Tacos. Tacos.
Oh,
So-
so
What kind of guns do you guys see? I saw. Oh wait, you took your Mosin, didn't you?
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I took my M44, which is basically just a short Mosin. Iron sights on that.
were all your
and-
guns iron sights? Or?
No, I took. I also took an AR with a red dot and a 3x magnifier, which after being out there, I'd probably want something more of a variable power optic, maybe like a 2-7 or a 3-9 magnification, just for longer shots. But I probably could have got it done with the 3x magnifier. I probably could have done it with the
I would
iron
love
sights.
to use my 308, the one I have, just the bolt.
To go hunting?
Go hunting.
Yeah, that'd be a good one for that.
Yeah.
308. Well,
Well,
a 7.62x54 ammo, which is for the Mosin.
Yeah.
The nice hunting ammo for that is surprisingly hard to find.
Dude, that Mosin,
Really?
I fell in love with that Mosin when I shot that Mosin.
Yeah.
The accuracy on that, just with iron sights.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
feel
Even
like-
better when you hit it with the iron sights, because you're like,
Oh yeah, you're like, I'm pretty
"Hell
good.
yeah."
Pretty good at this.
Yeah. So
that target.
I mean, and those sights aren't very like, they're kind of crude, but they work great. That's why I took it, because it's one of those guns that if you point at something, it's gonna hit. So that's why I took that.
If you point it right, though.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Yeah. Of
You
course.
point it right.
Yeah.
But yeah, I love the bolt action. I was like, pop,
It's a lot of fun. Yeah.
It's a lot of fun to shoot.
Oh yeah.
Pretty stout.
Those are pretty popular. What, in World War II?
Those go back to
World War
War
One?
One even.
Damn.
I have 3 Mosins. One of the oldest one I have is from 1923. The M44 is from 1944. So I guess if it's good enough to hunt Germans, then
It's good enough to hunt game.
yeah. So, but yeah, I mean, 308 bolt action with the nice scope would be perfect for something like that. but
That would be
hunting ammo is a lot more common for that.
Yeah.
So my biggest thing is I've always wanted to go hunting, but I've never really like been able to do it just because it's like I'd want to go with somebody that has experience. That
Exactly.
like it's like okay, I
hunting
shot
experience.
It's
knows
like
how to track
yeah,
and
it's
stuff like that.
not even that, like because that's fairly easy. You can kind of learn that while you're there, but it's like okay, I shot this thing. Now what do I do?
Oh, as far as
yeah,
like skinning
yeah,
it and
yeah, exactly.
storing the meat, making sure it doesn't go bad on your
Yeah.
drive back.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's pretty important.
yeah.
That's the most important, I think. If you
Yeah,
want.
exactly.
You don't want your kill to go to waste.
Yeah. So once you do that, I mean, and that's the thing is, I have another friend that said that there's a place that he goes and the owner, he says the owner just basically asks him to bring him back a pig, and they usually do.
Well, nice.
So hopefully I'll get out another time and try to get something.
When you try to aim, do you aim any specific spots? Or?
Yes. So what you're aiming at is
Good question.
So what you're aiming at is where the leg kind of joins the body, like kind of in the shoulder area.
Yeah.
That's where the heart.
Yeah. So that's kind of like the boiler room, basically, if you want to call it that.
Ah, okay.
So you have the heart, the lungs.
That's where Vin Diesel resides.
Yeah. Yeah. So you have all the vital organs there, and it's it's a fairly large area to shoot.
When you're over there, did you think different when you had to go? Say you had to shoot it. Did you think like I'm gonna shoot something that's gonna kill it and stuff like that?
No.
Was he like?
Was
Was he weirded out about it?
Oh yeah. Well, I'm saying. You know what I mean?
in talking to Jen about it, she was kind of like, I don't know, I couldn't do it. Like to me, it was like,
Yeah.
I was like, dude, it's food. Like,
Yeah.
it's,
If the world goes to shit, you gotta hunt for
Well,
something.
no, I'm saying that way, but because we're so modernized on the stuff.
yeah,
we
no,
do
that
now,
doesn't.
you know?
To me, I think that I mean, how much more organic do you get, right?
Well,
like,
yeah.
like
free
so-
range. That's as free range as it gets.
Exactly. So the way I figured it, it's like, look, like I'm gonna bring, whatever I shoot, I'm gonna bring it home and I'm gonna
Yeah.
feed it to my family. Like, I'm fine with it,
Man, just the satisfaction of doing that, though.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Awesome,
It's
bro.
like, I brought the bacon home.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Literally.
Yeah. So that was definitely gonna end up in the smoker. I actually found a place that would actually a place in Chino that you can take it in and they'll butcher it for you.
There's a few
Nice,
places in
yeah.
even in I think in Rubidoux there's one off of Mission and where Pirate's at. Pirate Mission. There's
Yeah.
a meat place there where is it a meat place? What would you call it?
Would have to
Butcher?
be.
Butcher?
Yeah, would have to be.
Yeah, Butcher. Even in Mariloma there's a lot of places. in
Yeah.
Mariloma.
Well, yeah, I know that one specific place they'll so I was expecting you get it you get it skinned, you get it quartered, and you just throw it in the cooler. Which reminds me, I still have to check my cooler because there's probably still ice in there.
What kind of cooler do you got? I saw a picture of it, but I didn't.
Yeah, I
didn't
do.
ask you.
So I tend to over.
Gosh, it was pretty. It was
Yeah, it was
Ozark.
pretty cool.
Yeah,
Ozark
Ozark
Trail.
Trail. So I tend to over research shit when it comes to niche stuff like that.
You have to though.
Well,
I think it's a smart thing to
when
do.
you're
Like,
paying that much money, right? So
Yeah,
so
if
that's
you're
the thing
gonna
is it's not
invest, yeah.
it's a what I wanted was a roto-molded cooler, which is a process of how they make the coolers. They put them in a mold and it kind of turns.
Yeah.
So it makes there's a lot more insulation in those coolers.
Yeah.
So I mean, they claim, and I guess I'll find out tomorrow or tomorrow I'll find out for sure. So they claim that you can keep ice in them for about 9 days, 7 to 9 days.
Really?
Yeah. So what I did is I put, and I really could have got away with using a lot less ice. So I put, I ended up buying like some foil, like they're big foil packs
Yeah.
that have gel in them. You put 7 cups of water in there and then you
Right.
freeze them. So that actually is colder than ice. It stays colder longer. It's going way too fast.
so residential area asshole.
Yeah. So that helped, and then I bought I put some regular ice in there, and then I put like 10 pounds of dry ice in there.
Yeah.
And when I opened so that was on Friday afternoon, and then I opened the bottom part where the water would come out, and on Sunday, and I didn't get a single drop of water. So
That's impressive.
yeah. So I mean, the ice would have worked well for had there been a need for it.
How much does that run you?
So comparatively, like for that same size, comparatively for like the popular brands like Yeti and
yeah.
Orca and
Yeah,
all the
Yeti's like it's
You're
just a
looking-
name now.
well,
So,
for a cooler the size that I was looking at, I ended up getting a 73 quart cooler for that size cooler in a Yeti, it's $500.
Fuck.
Damn.
Yeah, and they're made in the Philippines, I think.
The Yetis are?
Yes.
Okay.
Really?
Orca actually makes theirs in the U.S.
USA.
And they're comparably priced. So it's like, if I'm like, if I was gonna spend $500 on a cooler, why would I spend it on something that's made in the Philippines? I know what their labor rates are over there. It's all profit.
It's all
Granted,
profit.
people have to make money, but you know, I'm not paying for the brand name. So I'm paying for the cooler for it to work. So even still, I mean, it's still pricey for the cooler. I ended up paying like, I think it was like $190.
Compared to $500, it's nothing.
Exactly. So somebody was like, "Oh, why didn't you get a Yeti?" Because I could have gotten 2 of the ones that I got and had $100 left over. That's why.
Yeah.
You know, and cool. I mean, if it makes you feel better, send me a Yeti sticker and I'll put it on there. That's pretty much the only difference in terms of like from performance that I saw, because I mean, it worked great.
Yeah.
They're heavy. They're heavier than standard coolers.
I'm all about saving money, dude. If you can save money on something, buy something cheaper that works just as well or better.
This
cup, yeah. You got it, what, Walmart, you said?
Yeah, $7.
$7 and it works.
They're $30 for the name brand
For
Yeti
the
ones.
Yeti.
And it works the exact same way, man. It's funny, I had put ice water in on Friday afternoon.
Yeah.
And there was still ice in there, and I left it in my car, and I parked it in my friend's house or whatever. We came back, the water was still sort of cold in this one.
It's impressive.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, it's pretty crazy.
So what kind of guns did your friends have?
Just ARs.
ARs.
And I think one of them had a Springfield M1A.
Are ARs typically known as hunting rifles, or
for pigs you can get away with it. The pigs were they were, from what we were telling them, from what they were saying, the pigs were on the smaller side, so we could have got away with ARs, shooting 5.56, but anything bigger like deer or whatnot, you want to use a little bit bigger round, just for, you know, more humane. If I would have hit that one with the Mosin, though, it would have gone down instantly, especially at that close range. It might have even lit him on fire.
Look, instant bacon.
Yeah, there you go.
instant bacon.
Yeah.
It's already cooked. I don't have to worry about cutting this shit up.
Yeah, and it was a beautiful pig too. It was like the guy, you know, the guy that took us up there, he was kind of impressed by it. He was like, "I've never seen one like that."
Yeah.
At least there on the land, because he says most of the ones he sees were black, but that one was kind of like it almost looked like a cat, because it was a calico. Like it had you know, it had the black and orange and white. Kind of a neat pattern. Really did well in blending in to the area, because the leaves are kind of like, you know, there's a lot of brown and greens and stuff, and kind of you really did a good job of blending in.
You know what's interesting about pigs? Like domesticated pigs, if they escape from a farm,
they go feral.
They go feral in no time. They start growing hair. Their tusk starts growing a lot. You know, their teeth, their tusk or whatever. Yeah, they start growing. I mean, it's pretty interesting, man.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, it's you know, it's the pig itself, like not like its offspring or whatever. No, like the pig itself will.
The pig itself will.
Yeah,
it adjusts itself to its surroundings.
Adaptation.
Yeah, it's crazy. But yeah, that's the only one that I saw up close. Saw a couple mule deer up there. Beautiful deer.
Now, mule deers, are they smaller, or are they?
So the mule deers, I want to say they look different. This one was more like it wasn't like the Bambi, like brown and white. It was more like kind of gray. Had really big ears. They were pretty decent size.
Right now, when you mentioned it, like I can picture them in my head.
Yeah. They're about the same size as like regular deer, I think. I don't know. I haven't looked into it.
I think down in Baja California they have like the smaller deer. Smaller deer.
Yeah, I think it all depends on the area and how well they can feed. You know, but yeah, beautiful mule deer would have been delicious.
Nature is just amazing.
It's crazy.
Tons of so what we kept seeing a lot. He says he's gotten some turkeys out there.
Really?
And he said he actually got one before Thanksgiving, and he cooked it up for Thanksgiving, and he said it was by far the most delicious turkey he's ever had.
Were they jive-ass turkeys?
They must have been, because we didn't see any. He was impressed he didn't see any. We did see tons of jackrabbits. And so we were like, dude, with this many jackrabbits, the coyotes are gonna go crazy.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So it's weird because it's like, it goes kind of like in a flow. You have a surplus of jackrabbits, and then you're gonna have a lot more coyotes because the coyotes will start eating them, and then that'll die down, and then they'll die down, and it just kind of goes in a cycle.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, nature takes care of itself. I mean, it's just when humans try to fuck with it.
Yeah,
that's true.
I saw a bobcat out there too.
Oh, really?
Yeah, a little tiny bobcat.
Nice.
Yeah, so
It's just to fuck you up. I don't care how small they are.
yeah, it was kind of like it was small to it was basically just looked a little bit bigger than a house cat.
Yeah.
But you can tell it was like,
Have you heard of an ocelot?
I have. Those things are cool looking.
They are fucking cool looking. So I went to the Desert Museum in Tucson.
Yeah.
And they have ocelots, and yeah, they're like almost like a house cat, but a little bit bigger.
I haven't seen
you
them.
They'll fuck you up. Yeah, dude. Ocelots are
They're wild
beautiful
animals.
creatures, man.
They are. They're. But yeah, they'll fuck you up. He said that they may have seen some mountain lions out there, which to me wouldn't be surprising at all if there was mountain lions out there, because I think they'd do well just picking off all the coyotes.
Yeah.
But yeah, I didn't see.
That's
any.
interesting. That's crazy how, I don't know, just thinking about doing that, going out there it's liberating. You know what I mean?
Well, it is, man. It's,
You know?
like I said, especially with you not having to be connected to your phone.
Yeah.
Like it's
That's great.
It's so freeing. Like a lot of people freak out.
Well,
like,
I can't remember the last time I wasn't connected to my phone, because remember when we grew up, we didn't have phones.
Yeah, that's true.
yeah, we didn't. I had a pager.
Well, yeah, a pager.
Yeah.
And then you had to find a damn payphone. You're like,
Payphone.
That's
What's
those things.
that?
Yeah,
I know.
what are those? What are payphones? But yeah, no, I mean,
every
it's
time I think
liberating.
about a payphone, I always think of.
Because I mean, when you're here, you freak out. If you don't have reception, your phone's gonna die. Like shit,
Yeah.
if they have a charger I can use. But when you're in the wilderness, you have no choice. Your
Yeah.
phone dies, it dies. I don't give a fuck. You gotta text somebody. Sorry, I can't.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, I just turned
Yeah.
mine. I just turned mine on airplane mode because I figured the battery was gonna. I knew it was gonna. There was gonna be some downtime of us, like, messing around, play some games or whatever.
That's
once we
crazy.
got back, so I was like, yeah, I'll just put it on airplane mode and throw it in my back pocket and just don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I was gonna ask you. Ask you guys. Have you guys tried rabbit? I haven't tried rabbit.
I
yet.
never tried rabbit.
No, I haven't either.
I mean, I've had frog. I've had alligator. I haven't tried snake. I want to try some snake.
I tried
Let's
shark.
hear
Shark
rabbit.
wasn't that great.
Shark was okay.
It was okay. It was too. Yeah.
That's what happens.
Yeah,
That's why shark.
But yeah, no, that was the rabbits would have been good hunting out there. There was a ton of them.
Should have killed one, bro.
Oh no, dude! With the 5.56, I looked at pictures to see what it would do. It pretty much turned like it puts their insides on the outside.
Oh, so it turns them
dang.
inside out.
Basically,
That's crazy.
It jacks them up pretty good.
So what would you need? Like just 22?
The
Like
22 would be perfect for that.
yeah, for jackrabbit.
Yeah.
Just jack them up.
Yeah, just
there was
get a
some pretty fat
slingshot.
ones, too. There was some pretty fat jackrabbits out there too, and,
Yeah.
and like they were we almost ran over them a couple of times because they didn't move.
You know what I always say? I tell my girlfriend, I was like, yeah, we just need a do-over. Like some huge natural event to happen for just reset, because this is just what's going on is crazy. And
Yeah. No.
I know earlier we talked about how this has been a crazy week, and we're talking about guns, and what happened in Vegas was just pretty freaking insane, man.
Yeah, so that happened and it's funny because it's not funny, but
No.
Yeah.
I know what you mean.
I tend to after Jan and Victoria go to bed, kind of stay up and watch some stuff and go on YouTube and catch up on my subscribed channels or whatever. And I saw somebody posted something about an active shooter in Vegas.
Yeah.
I have an app on my phone that's like basically just listens to police scanners. And that, I mean, as soon as I opened it, I was like, wow, there's a whole bunch of people listening to, because a lot of times you hear about stuff like that, but it's
You
like,
think it's real.
oh, it was just kind of a false alarm, or somebody reported something and it ended up not being that. But there was a lot of scanner traffic.
But we'll get back to the Vegas. But I heard there was a shooting at USC too. Was that a false alarm?
That ended up being a false alarm.
Okay.
I was listening to the scanner traffic on that as well.
Yeah.
That happened while I was at lunch, and they ended up calling it a code for, saying everything was settled within a few minutes.
Okay.
I mean, so
It's because everybody's on.
everybody was on edge.
Yeah.
Thank
I
goodness.
think.
Yeah.
Yes.
It was crazy.
So going back, you were.
So yeah, I started listening to the scanner radio, man, and I mean, I was listening to everything almost as it happened, right? All the scanner traffic.
Yeah.
And it's weird because there's a couple of groups where on Facebook or whatever that for people that are into guns or whatever in California, and a group of us, and we'll post information on stuff like that, and it's kind of like you go back and forth, like you have a lot of people looking at different news sources and seeing what's reported, listening to scanner traffic. You miss something, it gets posted, stuff like that. So it's we were listening to it as it was going on, and it was crazy, man. I mean, you start seeing the videos come out, and as soon as we start seeing the videos come out and we hear what the gunshots sound like, it's, there's a lot of theories that start floating around.
Oh yeah.
I see.
Well, not the conspiracy theories, because those always come out, right? Everything's a conspiracy. But like, what type of weapon was used, and some of us, like, so originally we thought, well, from hearing the video, that it was suppressed fire, which is with the silencer, because it kind of sounded like, it didn't sound as loud as it would be if it was on the ground floor.
Right.
But then we started, like, as we watched the video a few more times, we started noticing that the sound of the gunshots was not as loud as. So what happens with a bullet is that it travels for the majority. They break the sound barrier.
Yeah.
So you'll hear, as it goes by you hear a pop, and those pops were a lot louder than the actual gunshots. So at first we started, okay, well, maybe he's in a different, we would never thought like, oh, he's up in the hotel or whatever. That wasn't like the original theory for us.
Right. Yeah, who would think
but we knew he was at least either somewhat far away, or it was suppressed fire. The other thing was the type of gun that was used, and it's like, for us at first it really sounded like automatic gunfire, which it ended up not being. It ended up being that they were using a slide fire stock, which is which
is funny, because in the news they constantly reported it was automatic, fully automatic, and
so no, it was a semi-automatic. So the way that those slide fire stocks work, and it's been reported a whole bunch of times, but for those that don't know, it's basically like, so it allows you to basically just hold your finger on the stock, and when you put forward pressure on it, it trips the trigger, and then the recoil pushes it back, and you're putting forward pressure on it again, so it allows that to kind of the firearm to slide back and forth. So had he used an actual automatic weapon, so here's a really trippy thing. If you really think about it, now they're talking about, slide fire stocks need to be banned because it's a terrible thing. If the guy had used an actual automatic weapon, the death count would have been a lot higher. Because so in the way that you're using the slide fire stock, it's inherently very unstable. They're basically just range toys, like just something to go out and shoot a bunch of rounds and kind of have a laugh, and that's pretty much it. But and I've kept up with all the news conferences and everything. It's one of those things. To me it's more interesting, not from the morbid aspect of like what happened, but more from like, how is the news going to report these things? And what's going to come of it?
They're going to be,
and what are people's opinions going to be? Because of the fact that I do follow firearms laws here in California quite closely, and once it becomes a national thing, that's a whole bigger thing. So the NRA came out in support of a review and further regulation of slide fire stocks, which a lot of people, including myself, don't really find
necessary.
Not necessarily necessary, right? So it's just, it really wasn't. So the NRA has a big history. Like, a lot of people are like, oh well, they're a difficult lobbying organization to deal with because they're not willing to negotiate. The thing is there's been a lot of negotiation over the years, but it hasn't been negotiation of like compromise, as people call for, where compromise implies that you get something back. There's been a lot of like the Gun Control Act of 1934, 1968. Those regulated full auto machine guns and short barrel rifles, short barrel shotguns, that sort of thing, and basically made it so that short barrel rifles and shotguns, those you can you can own in states that aren't California and select a few other states by applying for a $200 tax stamp and doing some paperwork that goes through to ATF. They take forever. They send you back a thing that says, okay, you can own it. Here's your tax stamp or whatever. And there's certain storage and marking requirements you have to go through. But it's just, it's a weapon like any other weapon.
Yeah.
It's a range toy. If you take it to the range, it's a tool. Machine guns, however, are a bit different in that those were anything made prior to, I believe it was 1989. The market for those, like, that was basically the cutoff year of, like, you can't manufacture new ones. So anything that's available needs to get registered. So that's why, like, to us it sounded fairly unlikely that it was full auto firearms, because so if we really think about it, like a fully, like, to simplify things for us, a full auto AR, which would be like an M16 or M4, which didn't exist at the time. For that, just for the price, since you can't manufacture new ones after 1986, the price for something like that, you're looking at $10,000 to $12,000.
Wow.
For something that's transferable, which is something that was made prior to that. It was registered. If you gave me the money, you could, not here in California, of course, in many other states, you go through background checks and paperwork and all kinds of shit.
It's pretty regulated, right?
It's very regulated, and
People think it's not.
I mean, and that's the thing, is in terms of, so now we go back to the gun control debate. Not only is it, because you can advocate, in this guy's case, you can advocate for more background checks because this guy passed background checks. He didn't have a criminal record. You can advocate for, killing people is already illegal.
Oh yeah, it already is.
So, and it has been for a very long time.
Would you say maybe there should be like a mental health check type thing?
I don't think so. But see, here's the thing. So mental health, mental health is an interesting thing, right? And we look at what has changed in the past, 20 years. People say, "Oh, we didn't used to have these so long ago," and so what at least just from my very basic understanding of it and knowing people, what else we started doing 20 years ago? We started medicating young men.
Oh, a lot more. Yeah.
And a lot of these guys, including this guy, were on psychotropic drugs. What ends up happening? So here's why the young man part is important, right? Your brain is still developing. You're being medicated. All of a sudden, Dylan Roof, perfect example of this. His mom, I believe his mom or whatever, used to give him his medication.
Right.
He goes away to college, stops taking his medication, goes fucking crazy and kills people. It's a very common thing, and that's one of those things. So your brain is forming with the influence of these psychotropic drugs, right?
Yeah.
And it's making these connections. I'm not a scientist. I'm just, from just layman's terms, I guess. It's making these connections, and your connections in your brain are being formed with this chemical present. Now this chemical kind of just goes away, and their chemistry in your brain changes, and maybe you're taking it for certain things, and yeah, I mean, in terms of being found mentally deficient, yeah, that's a question on the ATF form 4473. When you buy a gun, you fill that out. You say, hey, are you mentally deficient? Have you ever been considered mentally deficient by the courts? And yeah, I guess if you wanted to, you could lie on that.
You could lie.
No.
That's the thing. Mental health records, those fall into HIPAA compliance.
Or it's private and you can't.
Right. So how do you share that without?
How do you
approve the HIPAA?
How do you circumvent that?
I mean, do we want to circumvent that? I mean, do you think the general public should be subject to that invasion of privacy when it comes to
firearms?
Their mental health and firearms? I don't think so.
You don't think so? Here's the thing. I think so.
I don't know. I don't know that I agree with that.
I do. I wouldn't want an unstable person to.
I don't want unstable people to drive. but yet they do.
That's true too.
You know, I mean,
It's I don't know. You're like
But I
in
mean,
the middle.
a car. Yeah, like a car has a potential to kill. We've seen it in France.
86 people.
Yeah, 86 people were killed.
89 people.
Yeah, they're run over.
Are we gonna ban cars? No, they're not gonna ban cars.
Yeah, so
it's tricky.
Yeah, and that's the thing is so I think mental health, it's important, man. I think
Do you think that's what we need to attack more? That's what we need to focus on more than gun laws.
Absolutely, I think we need to figure out a way to. So that's the thing is, like, I mean, again, I'm not a doctor, I'm not a scientist, but it seems to me that the field of mental health, man, I'm sure you can go to 3 or 4 different psychologists or psychiatrists and talk to them, and they'd all have different diagnoses for
I
you.
agree with that one. Yeah.
Like, how is that field? Like, you know, it's one of those things. It's like,
And there's so many people that go into that field.
Yeah.
Like, I hear it all the time, like, oh, I'm going to go into, you know,
Psychology
I'm going to be a psychology or psychologist. And it's like,
it's weird, man.
it's weird.
Because it's not like, I mean, I think in terms of like mechanical things and electronics, where it's like, you know, if you're an electronics tech and I'm an electronics tech and there's something wrong with this electronic device and I troubleshoot it and I figure out what component's wrong with it, I could hand it to you. You could have the same skills and you could find the same issue.
It's predictable.
Yeah.
But dude, the human psyche is not like that.
Not at all.
So it's like, so there was I'd have to look, and I've been meaning to look this up, and somebody had brought it up, and it was kind of like in passing in conversation, but there was some mental health programs that had been defunded in the past few years. And, you know, I don't want to say that was the cause of it, because it's like, you know, how do you say that?
Yeah.
But I think, I think it's important, man. Not just because of this, but just in day-to-day terms, man. Like, yeah, some people deal with some shit, man, and we need to get help for it.
Oh, for sure.
Like but there's kind of a big stigma in it, just from, you know, a societal standpoint of, you know, oh, you need to go talk to somebody. Like, what are you, fucking crazy? Right?
Yeah, and that shouldn't be a. Like, you shouldn't put people down for us. Like, if you're looking for help and you're seeking it, good for you.
Yeah, you should be there and support them.
Yeah,
for
I mean,
it.
and I don't know, man. Like I know people that go through that, and it helps them. I mean,
I think that kind of falls into the whole bullying thing or whatever. Like I know a lot of people are like, oh, what are you, fucking pussy? Like, you got bullied. Like, I was fine. It's like, yeah, I've been bullied before, whatever. It's like, I'm fine too. But like, there's certain things you don't talk shit on, like people that are trying to get help for whatever they're going through. Is like, dude,
I mean, at least I wouldn't, right? Like, if you're dealing with some stuff, hey, man, more power to you. You know,
Absolutely.
You know where you gotta work on.
You'll be like, go do you know, go take care of yourself.
Exactly. You know, better that than the alternative of, you know, just, you know, you suffer with it, or you kill others, or you kill yourself.
I mean, you see that with you know, veterans, PTSD, and it just
that's a whole nother thing,
man.
Is you know, that's again, that's another field of that's you know, the door on that is just barely cracked, and people are starting to barely understand more of it. And we don't know what's on the other side of that door, right? We don't know. So we definitely don't know how to treat it.
I think we'll get there at some point. We'll get there.
Man, I sure hope so, dude. I think so. Again, that type of field, right? So again, other things that have changed. So, you know, World War I, World War II, you had these terrible wars, and you had these guys that saw some incredibly terrible shit
with some new weapons too. I mean, shit they'd never seen before. Nobody's ever seen before.
Right. So, but they see all this war, and it takes them a few months to come back by sea, by, you know, and they're all together. They kind of cope with it. They you know, they have that kind of support system of somebody that has been there with them, or saw, you know, similar things. Today, I mean, you can be in a war zone in, you know, less than 48 hours, and you can be out of a war zone in less than 48 hours.
And then also you have to, like,
all by yourself.
Yeah.
So it's like that time of, like, that buffer between, you know, going from war to coming back to the real world is dramatically cut
And
down.
how they do the adjustment, that's what's crazy. Like,
I've always wondered that about as far as
Yeah.
World War II veterans compared to we'll say Vietnam to like
Vietnam
even
is
recently.
Vietnam is where we started seeing that
More-
time frame cut down a lot more
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
between like being in the war zone and coming back home.
yeah, it was a lot.
So that's another thing that I think like a change that people might think it's inconsequential, but it's a very big part of it and very very big part of mental health. I would imagine.
I would imagine so as well. I mean, because what was the? Like you said, it took months to come back from a war in World War II, right?
Maybe a few weeks.
Maybe a few weeks at least.
Maybe a couple months. I don't know.
are you talking about the World War or?
Yeah. So I mean, in terms of coming back by sea versus coming back,
By plane,
Yeah.
Maybe during that trip through the sea, you have time to process what went through. You have time to
Yeah.
And you have
That's
others.
true.
Yeah, you have other people around you that have
Yeah.
went through that same experience, right?
So you guys could talk about it.
because I don't know what the rate was as far as like suicide wise for World War II veterans. I imagine it's a lot lower. I
Yeah.
imagine so.
From what I know,
I don't know if
if it was documented for one. I mean,
that
that's
too.
one of those things. Is how do you know?
And I don't know if it was like, oh, well, and during that time, it was like, if you were a man, you had to be a man. You had to, like, suck it up and just do, like,
Yeah, I mean, but that culture exists also. So that's another thing that exists in the military as well now.
what they call now is, like, the patriarchy or whatnot.
Well, I mean, no, it's not just that, dude.
No.
It's your career, right? So it's one of those things that, like, I mean, I've seen dudes that have been separated out medically for physical issues, like but like a dude that I met, he got shot in the arm, and it broke both the bones in his arm. And while he was going through physical therapy, they were like, "Oh well, hey, you got to do a physical fitness test. Oh, you can't do any pull-ups. Well, guess what? We're gonna kick you out." And he'd been in the military for, I mean, he was closer to retiring than, he was within a few years of retiring,
Yeah.
and he got kicked out for it. So it's one of those things is you have these dudes that maybe they're getting ready to re-enlist or they're thinking of making a career out of it. Maybe they don't get help right away, because maybe they're seen by their unit as weak. Other guys that just sucked it up or whatever, they don't want to get looked down upon. And again, that's one of those societal things where it's like, how do you change that?
I think it changes gradually.
Of course, I think societally things change very gradually. And I think that needs to change in terms of our focus on mental health and how people deal with things. I mean, we all deal with things differently.
I mean, people thought the Earth was flat back in the day, and then people now
Think
believe
it's-
the world
is flat.
World's round. Now they think it's flat again.
Yeah.
I don't know. Things change, man,
Yeah.
and it changes
It
gradually.
feels like it feels like everything's like just a circle. Like it just
It's a cycle.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not a circle because it's flat.
yeah,
So-
circle's
Oh,
flat.
well,
yeah.
wow. Let's see.
It's
You
a
can have
sphere.
a flat. You can have a flat circle like a pizza. Right?
Yeah, pizza's awesome.
Yeah.
I love pizza. Dude, speaking of pizza, there's a place. It's called Rocco's Pizza. Once again in Tucson. I talk about Tucson a lot, and I'll tell you what. Like
If you like Tucson so much, why don't you marry it?
I know.
I eventually will. I will. But Tucson's fucking amazing. It's a hidden gem. If you guys ever been there, it's fucking awesome. If you love food, if you love great drinks, great beer.
Just for the record, I have never seen us drink a little bit more than we actually drink today. I'm just saying.
This is actually.
That's a pretty big bottle.
It is. Look,
It's a
we're already
seven-
halfway.
It's a nice bottle, to be honest. I was gonna talk about that earlier.
Yeah. So that's yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
the
it's
corners
very.
are neat.
It's
Yes.
it's very simple, but it's also there's some beauty to it. Like there's some,
I like simplicity.
Some varying thicknesses on the corners and now we're gonna do a review on the bottle, but it's very delicious.
So when I used to partake in smoking of the devil's lettuce,
Devil's lettuce.
when I used to
The
purchase,
The ganja.
when I used to purchase paraphernalia, I used to look at the thickness of the paraphernalia.
Well, yeah.
It's not so much about the looks. I mean, the looks count, but
I used to go by the smell.
by the smell. Wait, no, I'm talking about
The paraphernalia,
I'm
not
talking
the-
about the paraphernalia,
not the devil's
what
lettuce.
you use to
oh.
partake in the And
I'm sorry, I misunderstood
Yes, not
you.
the lettuce
I
part.
misunderstood you.
Yes, we're talking about the paraphernalia, the part that's made from the glass.
So what you're saying is
Okay.
that would make a good paraphernalia
it
bottle.
would make it. It would make it good. You look
thinking
at the
about the
thickness,
other one, yeah.
not so much focus on the looks. You got to look
It's
at
just
the
the
thickness.
motion of the ocean, right?
Yeah.
You want your thing to be thick,
Yeah.
so thick.
Yeah. So the
Man, that changed really quick.
THICC.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. So
And,
and that's another thing is in looking at the Harmony bottle, it's completely different, right? It's
It
like a
is.
shorter bottle. It's
And
round.
it's round. Yeah.
So that one thing that they had mentioned was that there's 24 panels on that, and I guess what they were talking about is it has to do with the 24 seasons. So there's like, it's not seasons how we think about it in the same way. Like
Yeah.
a season is like the first rainfall. Or like, you know, that sort of thing. Like it's broken down much more.
Yeah.
So that's how much more
That's
like
interesting.
like yeah, and it's
I
like
appreciate the
Yeah,
details that
yeah.
people go into.
yeah, so I was like, wow, that's crazy. Like I'd never
Yeah.
heard about that, but that's kind of cool. Like, oh wow, they incorporated that into the bottle.
I think that's what goes without saying. The more detail is into something, the more good it's gonna be.
Well,
you
like
know
we
what
were
I mean?
talking about last podcast with David, and I was talking about how like if they pay attention to like freshly
Oh,
squeezed
exactly.
orange
Yeah, we
juice,
did.
they
Yeah.
know if they pay attention to like the smallest details.
What's the Japanese dude? So
Yeah.
they're well
Oh,
known for
yeah.
that. You know, some positive stereotyping.
Mm-hmm. No,
But
they-
yeah, that's kind of the general consensus, right? Is they're very meticulous, and I mean, at least from,
Perfectionist.
They put pride in their work.
yeah, and I mean,
perfectionist for
yeah,
sure.
from
Yeah.
this whiskey is very delicious. So I'm looking forward to trying the Harmony for sure.
I'm telling you guys, I
find-
tried that and I was blown away by it.
I need to, yeah. Well, I think I'm pretty sure they had it at El Cerrito Liquor.
I'll check it
offline.
out.
Yeah. I need to go there. I was gonna make a trip today, but there
Is-
was a shitload of traffic coming back from work.
Is there a lot? Is there another like liquor distillery? Well, place that has it just like them and because I try to look see if I can find one like in Redlands and stuff.
What do you mean?
like La
like La
Bodega, but
and
like
stuff
around
like-
here?
yeah.
Like, there's got to be. Like
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, there's got to be. I'll look
Well,
around.
there's that one
On Tuesday, I
I
have to
tagged
go
you
to-
on.
On
the,
Tuesday, I'm gonna go to Anaheim because I'm gonna be there for like half the day. So I was thinking of
on
just like
Tuesday.
yeah, I'm gonna see if I can find something around there.
Okay.
See.
Yeah.
There's a lot of places you can find in Anaheim. There's a lot of good places.
Probably Yelp. Yelp might be a good place to
I
look.
love using Yelp.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yelp's one
me
of my
too.
favorite things to use.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they get like you can get some very like niche specific things
Mhm.
like Cuban pizza, you
Yep.
know, and it'll come up and it's like,
They
oh,
have Cuban pizza.
I don't know, I just made that
Oh,
up.
I was like, man, that sounds good right now. No.
Yeah,
Russian birria
yeah,
made with bear meat.
yeah. Japanese steak and eggs.
There you go.
Yeah, the running theme is the steak and eggs. So combine it with, but yeah, that would be that. But yeah, Yelp would probably be helpful. I was thinking
Yeah.
about that too, like, because I stopped by a liquor store, but it was kind of like a liquor store, not
Yeah,
like
they didn't have
necessarily like
Specialty or nothing
Yeah,
like
no,
that.
nothing like that.
Nothing special.
So they're like chips and
No, you'll
beer.
find some good stuff in OC.
Yeah, I was gonna check it out.
There's a lot of good breweries out there too. I don't know. We
I don't know
might
if I'll have time for
Oh.
that, but yeah.
we might maybe review a beer or two here sometimes.
That would be
well,
nice.
so I
That'd
was thinking
change
a
the
lot.
taste.
I was thinking about some of the bourbon barrel beers,
Mm.
which would be cool.
yeah.
Ballast Point has some pretty good.
So Goose Island has their Bourbon County
Mm.
beer.
I'm not
um,
really fond of Goose Island. I don't know why.
really? That's
I
some
don't
good
know
ones.
why. I don't know.
We went to
Like the
a.
IPA, like I tried it and I just don't like the taste.
I went to a beer fest with Larry.
Yeah.
What it was in
Oh, there was the one at Bastard's Canteen
in LA, yeah,
and Downey.
in Downey, yeah, it was pretty cool.
You
So
said
that day,
Bastard's Cafe.
Yeah, Bastard's Canteen.
yeah, we went, and I think Goose Island was there. Angel City Brewery was there.
Mhm.
Who else was there?
Miller was there.
Oh yeah, Miller was there, of course.
You're like, oh, Miller, okay.
Yeah, Miller.
But there was a couple of really smaller. ones.
They were promoting Miller High Life.
They were, and you know, I've heard that that's making a comeback. At
It
least
is.
from-
Well, Miller High Life.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Not Mickey's.
No,
No,
Miller High Life.
Mm.
So that day, so after the the band that was there was pretty good. I enjoyed them.
Steady 45s.
Steady 45s, yeah.
Yeah.
They were pretty dope.
Yeah.
And then afterwards we went to that was the day of the what fight was it?
It was Mayweather McGregor. Not Mayweather McGregor. It was Diaz McGregor.
Diaz McGregor. So
But it was the second one.
Yeah. So we had these pink wristbands for the event for the beer fest, and then we go to a bar right across the street.
Yeah.
And we were like, fuck, it's gonna be like, how much was it? Like $25.
Yeah, I
like
think it was like $25.
And I noticed, I was like, dude, they had like pink bracelets. Like, fuck it, let's just stand in line. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, we were here earlier, and like we got through. We didn't have to fucking pay the $25.
Yeah, the only thing is you had to go back and get I think you had to get a sweatshirt.
I had to get my sweater, yeah, because the shirt I was wearing a tank top, so it wasn't appropriate.
Yeah.
I was like, well,
Really?
if I grab my sweater, is that okay? Because I
Yeah,
put my
it's
sweater.
like-
I lied to do. I was like, I put my sweater in the car because it got a little too warm. If I grab my sweater, is that okay? Can I come? Yeah, just grab your sweater. It's cool. I was like, all right.
Yeah, so we grabbed the sweater and went back in, and we got in to watch the fight for free.
That's tight.
Yeah, but they were charging like $25 at the door for everybody. So
Yeah.
so we got free beer,
And get a free
rib tips and wings. The rib tips were fucking amazing.
The rib tips were fucking amazing.
And they have them every Wednesday. I think they're like 50 cent
At that
rib tips. Yeah,
particular
at that
spot?
place. But dude, it's in Downey. I would go if it was closer.
Yeah.
I would go a lot more often, but
Portals was right down the street from there.
It was
you
right
could walk
across the
there.
street, yeah.
And we walked there, and the line was fucking ridiculously huge.
Yeah.
Portals is a really great Cuban bakery.
Yeah.
Amazing pastries. Amazing. I recommend going if you get the chance to go to. Yeah, we give a lot of
Recommendations.
we do.
We do. A lot.
I like food.
I
We
know.
like food, we like good drinks, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right now, I watch you. This sounds good right now too. Sorry. Speaking back
I
to
want
food.
chile. We haven't covered steak and eggs. That hasn't been.
I know.
That hasn't.
I
derailed
should have
the
made that
podcast
today.
enough.
I should have made some steak and eggs.
Oh man.
I said you made wings,
Yeah, I made
The wings.
but they were good though.
Yeah. No. The last time we had the wings, they were.
Yeah, I
they just
used this,
tasted like hot.
Yeah.
They didn't.
I was gonna get 365 a Mad Dog.
Oh, the 357? Mad Dog
Oh,
357?
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Do you watch the hot ones?
Oh yeah, bro.
Yeah,
I'm all
I was
about
watching
it every week.
I was watching the one, and I didn't finish watching it, but I was watching the one with Wanda Sykes.
I didn't watch that one.
Yeah, and it was pretty funny.
I
At least
didn't
for the
watch
first
Yeah,
part.
it was pretty funny. I think the last one he had that guy from Friday. I forgot his name. The one that's really animated. He's
Chris Tucker?
No, he was after American. He's the one that's built and he moves his pecs a lot.
Oh, Terry Crews.
Yeah, him.
Checkers, yeah.
He's fucking
He
hilarious.
was on there and it was funny. Once he got to the last three of the wing sauce, he was like, I'm gonna die. What do I feel? I lightheaded. It was pretty funny.
I like the one with the riff raff.
Oh,
Yeah.
He's not like I don't like his music. I'm not a big fan of his music, but
well, that's
that
like
was
the one,
pretty hilarious.
That's the one that I saw with Machine Gun Kelly. That was another good one. Again,
Yeah.
like a couple of his songs are okay, but
Yeah.
no, I'm not
Yeah.
a huge fan. But the one with Joey Diaz, of course.
Oh,
was fucking
Oh yeah, he was
Yes.
on there. Dude.
yeah,
The blue cheese will fuck your mother. This blue cheese will fuck your mother.
yeah.
Mad flavors.
Yeah, that dude's awesome.
That was awesome.
Oh, you guys saw him live?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I saw Joey Diaz.
It was pretty
I hate
funny.
you guys.
God, you missed out, man.
Yeah,
I know I
did.
missed out. But
Next time he comes down, we'll have to watch. I'll definitely pay to go see him again for sure.
Yeah,
Definitely
it was really
worth it.
funny.
now,
Yeah.
do you recommend going after partaking in the devil's lettuce?
That would probably be
Uh,
pretty hilarious. It's not necessary, but it would probably
Yeah,
it would
exactly.
probably be
Amplify it.
good.
Because he's hilarious already. Joey Diaz is hilarious already.
Yeah, yeah.
You know who else is pretty hilarious? That's like getting a lot more publicity is Esparza, Felipe Esparza, is that his name?
Oh yeah, he had a special on HBO. That was pretty funny.
Like I remember I saw him. Where did I see him at? I think it was the one of the
Ontario
comedy
Improv, I
specials.
think.
No,
No, you didn't see him.
we went to where we saw Fluffy and Cat Williams, and I think he
That was
was
at
there.
Ontario, wasn't it?
No,
No, yeah, it was
Glenelg
at
Pavilion.
Irwindale.
Irwindale.
Yeah, it was at the
Irwindale
pavilion.
or-
Yeah, the Verizon Pavilion.
Okay,
Where we're
now,
outside?
now we're in two different places now.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
we
Verizon
are.
Pavilion thinks Irvine.
That's
No, but-
Irvine, yeah.
But it was at the Verizon, I think, then. Because I remember
It wasn't
was
Glen Helen.
No.
I might have been. You're probably right. But I
You,
think
you know why I remember? Because I remember because when
We took a
went to
picture
go
of
see Incubus, it was right there. Because we're on the bottom where the stairs.
Then
That's
that
when
was-
you were going to the bathroom on the bottom, and you went to go take a picture with Cat Williams when you saw him over there.
and that was Irvine then.
That was a Irvine Amphitheater.
Yeah.
That had been.
But
Irvine.
wasn't that wasn't that? I think that was a variety.
I think I had
for a little
the
bit.
Devil's Lettuce,
Yeah.
but I don't remember.
Yeah, it sounds like you did.
Maybe. I don't know.
Sounds like you forgot to remember.
I forgot to remember.
Yeah.
I forgot to remember.
Oh man.
But yeah.
But I think so, yeah. I think that's where it was when you guys took that picture.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
That was fun, though.
yeah. It was definitely funny. Eddie Bravo was there too.
Was he?
Oh, yeah.
Eddie Bravo was one of the opening acts.
Oh
He
shit,
was pretty
that's
funny.
right.
He was
he
funny.
was funny.
Holy shit, that's
He
right.
said he didn't want to get into the whole flat Earth thing.
Yeah.
I was kind of bummed. I think it would have lost the audience for sure.
Oh, totally.
Yeah.
It still blows my mind. Like people like believe the Earth is flat. It's like, okay, you got daytime and then nighttime. Like, how does that work?
It goes
How does it work?
around, It goes to the bottom and comes around.
I don't know.
No, I
It's the
know.
ice wall. So you
The ice wall,
you
right?
heard about the ice wall, right?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, that's a whole nother.
It's like so. Like that's the whole medieval fucking thought. Like
There's an ice wall and it's heavily guarded. It's like, wait, why? Why?
Is like
it's
that
heavily
video-
guarded.
is that
Yeah.
video
Oh,
like-
yeah. It's very heavily guarded. That-
Okay,
the whole theory-
this I didn't hear about.
that's the whole theory of the ice wall. Is that's why nobody's seen it because it's very heavily guarded.
Why the
What?
fuck would?
I don't know. I don't know.
Why do we waste our resources
Yeah.
on guarding?
The ice wall? I don't know.
Like, what do people gain by saying that the Earth is round? Like what's the
Is there a prize at the end?
It's a NASA conspiracy. You
Oh,
fucking globetards.
fucking globetards? What the fuck?
I don't get it, man. And everything else is round, but the Earth is the only one that's flat.
So the other planets are round.
Well, I mean,
I still remember that.
that's not the argument, right? Like, that's not the
Yeah.
argument of like, oh, the moon is round, is flat.
That's true.
You never hear that.
I want
Yeah.
to hear that. So any flat Earth? You said you know someone that's.
Oh, we don't. I don't think we want to go down that.
That's
road.
gonna be
I
crazy,
do want to
bro.
go down a road there.
God,
I do want to go down.
that's
that road.
that's not that's a road we can't turn back around from. though.
That's
gonna be
fine.
like, it's gonna be like the
That's
never-ending
fine.
story. It's just gonna go
God.
on.
That's
I'll
fine.
see what I can do.
Please,
I'll see
that
what I
would
can
be
do.
fun. That would
I
be
want to be
entertaining.
aligned. Who knows? Maybe I'll convert into the flat Earth thought.
I think.
And then you'll come out with the plate and pour water. See?
See,
The
look.
world is flat.
Yeah. See, the water stays there, but it does it. See, on this orange, it just falls off.
Yeah.
What's funny?
Oh,
I
man.
saw the comments like, yeah, to proportion, like that.
To
that's
scale, yeah.
To scale, that orange is drenched.
Yeah, it's flooded. Yeah.
It's flooded. Yes, that's
You know, I dread. You know, we're just gonna. The thing is we'll have to.
If we have
We'll
it here,
do
I
it.
think we'll finish the whole bottle.
That's what I was gonna say. Is
Yeah.
that's gonna be. We're gonna have to find an extra special whiskey for that, and it's gonna have to be delicious. 'Cause
Yeah.
we're gonna need a lot of it.
maybe for the Hibiki
Oh man, maybe for the
Japanese
the
harmony.
Yeah, once we try it and we find out that we like it. I mean, if it's that much better than this,
Believe
then-
me, I'm gonna sound like
good, huh?
I'm gonna sound like Donald Trump, but
I know my whiskeys.
I know my whiskeys, and this whiskey
It's the best
is the best
whiskey.
whiskey. Believe me, I know. Trust me.
Yeah. This is the best whiskey we have. Those Japanese, they have nothing but the best whiskey.
Hey, you know what? I'm gonna have to agree with because on Whiskey Ball they're talking about how, like if you try Japanese whiskeys, they're all very nice and.
But my first one for trying it for the first time was really delicious.
It's very
Yeah.
you know, and that's the thing they mentioned, and not just there, but a couple other places. They said it's very reminiscent of Irish whiskeys, which I agree with. There's something to that.
It's the drinkability.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that they don't punch you in the face. Like it's they're not overly complex. The flavors aren't like, "Ugh," you know. But there's some whiskeys where there's just so much going on.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of the wood flavors. There's some of the wood flavors here, but not overwhelming
Yeah.
to where it's. But yeah, I mean, this is.
I was telling Edgar, I think last week I was talking to you about when I was looking for kits to make whiskey or distilleries
Yeah.
and stuff like
Yeah.
that. I was like, man, how can it be so cheap? But there's two ways to making it: the cheap way and the non-cheap way, where you get vodka and you get like very distilling. You put it.
I'd
in
rather
you
not take shortcuts.
Yeah, exactly.
That's-
I would have to just
you'd
do
go
it.
blind.
You could go blind.
Go blind.
Yeah. Where you put it in your bathtub. No, so I mean, yeah, you could I don't know what the kit's involved, but I mean, yeah, you're basically making moonshine.
That's sugar and all that stuff.
Yeah,
I think,
basic.
with it.
Well, you're making moonshine mash.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
you're distilling that you know, in your still. And I mean, the process doesn't seem overly hard. It's the whole, like, you know, knowing what you're going for in terms of your mash bill. Like, yeah, because so that's the weird thing about it, right? So these guys come up with like a certain mash bill, and they're like,
but they don't know.
They don't know what the end result. Well,
exactly.
That's the thing, is they do know. That's the hard part. Is they do know. So imagine that, like we could go through the process. We could probably put the stuff of going through the process.
I think one of these days, I think we should just all get together and just do a podcast how we do one, and just do one in front of here. You know, we get
like on Facebook Live. Just show the process of how we're making it,
and then we'll talk about it.
But
and
I
then
think that's illegal.
Is it?
Probably is.
I think it is.
Maybe. Really?
Yeah.
Let's whisper.
Never mind.
Yeah.
Why are we whispering? Hillary Clinton's listening.
God, we're gonna get suicided.
Free helicopter rides. I rode in a helicopter once, and it was scary as shit.
Really?
Was it a free helicopter? I've ridden in helicopters many times.
Oh yeah.
And
I haven't. I want to do it for one time before I die.
It's very loud.
It is.
It's very shaky. I've ridden in old Russian helicopters that look like, I don't know how these things are still flying, but they were. And yeah, but no, nobody's ever thrown me out of a helicopter just yet. So.
I think you posted a picture or something when you were on a helicopter before.
Yeah, I posted videos and stuff, and
yeah.
It's interesting. The weirdest thing I've actually flown in was one of those Ospreys.
Ospreys?
The Marine Corps, the V-22 Ospreys.
The ones that go,
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, well, yeah, I guess they do that. So the ones that like the ones that have the rotors that like will tilt, like they take off.
Oh yeah.
The rotors tilt forward.
Yeah.
So they can only land with the rotors tilted up, because if they can't land, like a plane because the rotors are too big. They'll hit the ground. So, but it's so weird because it's like it takes off and it's almost like a roller coaster, man.
Yeah.
Like they just. You start going up, and then all of a sudden the rotors tilt forward, and you
drop.
You feel the speed; it just takes off.
That's
it's
crazy.
This is what it sounds like here.
No ketchup, just sauce. Raw sauce. Boom, yo, God. The thing goes and the boom.
That's funny.
That's it right there. That's what it sounds
funny.
like.
Yeah, that is. Well, if it sounds like that, then you're probably gonna die.
That's what you hear before you die.
Yeah. Yeah, if your helicopter starts making those noises, you're definitely gonna die.
Oh man,
Yeah.
like shit. Like I don't know, man. It's insane. So I want to touch back. I forgot to mention one thing. When I woke up, so I didn't hear about the Vegas thing, okay, until I woke up and I saw on my phone, you know, you hear you see the news app and it tells you what went on or whatever.
Yeah.
And I woke up, it was like, I think it said like over 50 dead in Vegas. Like, what the fuck? And so my brother, he lives near there. My brother Gabriel lives in, I think, Henderson. So he lives near there.
Yeah.
My buddy Oreo lives there. I know, one of my schoolmates, my buddy Marcos and my other friend Cherie were in Vegas for that. Well, Marcos was there for his girl's birthday party birthday, and then Cherie was there at the concert. And so when I woke up and saw that, I was like, "Holy shit!" I was freaking out. I was like, "What the fuck? Like, what the fuck just happened? Am I tripping? Is this really going on?" And so first thing I do, I text my brother, and I text my other buddy Oreo, which he's like a little brother to me as well. I was, dude, he is okay? Like, what's going on? Because I know they live far from there, but you never know. They might have been out. They could have been out there hanging out, you know, in the
going
area.
to the concert or something.
Oh yeah, and then I was like, fucking, and Cherie was there, and I was like, oh shit, like. But I saw Marcos's post saying, like, you know, hey, if anybody needs to get a hold of anybody, this is my number. Let me know, blah blah blah. And then Cherie commented on there saying, you know, that she was okay, and she had help out a lady. I guess the lady got shot in her stomach. She said, like, the fucking hole was pretty fucking huge, and it was pretty traumatizing for her, which I'm sure it's gonna be traumatizing for anybody.
Yeah,
I don't care
for
who.
Sure, that's crazy.
So shit, waking up to that, I mean, fuck.
Yeah, I remember waking up and just I think I turned on the TV and I was like, what the fuck? I was like, oh shit, and then I was like, man, it's just getting crazier and crazier as we, you know. I think I have more fear for my kids when they get older, or what the world is gonna be, because I have to explain that to them, especially because my son's like 7 years old, so he kind of understands what's going on.
Yeah.
So you know, how do you explain him that, like, what's going on? You can't say, hey, all the fucking people are fucking crazy.
Well,
like,
I mean,
you know,
can,
White people's is crazy.
Yeah. But you know, it's just crazy. And then, like I was telling my wife, I was like, you know, it's funny when you're growing up and you see your kids growing up and they're asking you questions and stuff like that. Like,
how do you answer?
Exactly. Like, you know, I think I told her, I was like, you know what, we just have to answer with the truth, and then, you know, and it is what it is.
You got to be honest with kids.
You have to. You can't sugar. Yeah, exactly. You can't sugarcoat stuff.
It's either they're gonna hear it from you, or they're gonna hear it from somebody else.
Yeah.
Their friends, like, they're gonna hear it from their friends that they don't even know shit. So it's like, you know what? Like, and my girlfriend Rebecca tells me the same thing. Like, if we have kids, like, you know, we're gonna tell them the truth, like, because they're either gonna hear it from their friends or. And I honestly, like, I kind of like, as being Hispanic, like, it's kind of like hard to talk to kids about, let's say, sex, or let's say drugs or whatever.
I didn't find sex until I found the tape, and I just started watching it.
Whoa, what tape? What tape?
Whoa.
I'm not gonna go into it.
All right then. Well, so it's very it's taboo.
Yeah, of course.
We'll say it's taboo.
Yeah.
Just take him to the zoo, dude.
There you go. What's that monkey doing? Well, that's what I do to your mom. That's how you came.
Shit.
But no, it's hard to accept. But I think it is. I agree. Like, you have to be upfront.
I agree with what you were saying. That you might as well just tell them up front, and then, you know, at least they hear it from you. They don't hear it from somebody else, because you know how other kids will add too much to it.
They're fake news.
Exactly.
Fake news, yeah. You are fake news.
Yeah. You know, you want to give them the real news, not the fake news.
Yeah, not the fake news.
Not the CNN or Fox News version.
Sure.
Yeah, but I mean, man, it's just, you know, it is different, man. The questions that kids are asked these days are going to be like different from the ones we asked. Right?
What do you think, Larry? Because I know your daughter's kind of, you know, getting up in her age, and you know,
she turns 3 in December, so she's still in the stage.
Yeah, but like,
Larry's got time. Don't rush him.
No, I'm not rushing them. But I'm just saying, like, you know, like,
what are you rushing?
Yeah. Like, I don't know. Say if she was 7, what would you know?
I don't know. Just tell us Russian hackers, man.
There you go.
Yeah. How old's Isaac, Eddie?
7.
Well, that's okay.
Yeah, I don't know how I would explain that, dude.
Because 7's around the time where you're like,
you're more aware.
You know what's going on.
He knows what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I remember at 7, I was kissing girls. Well, I was kissing girls like in kindergarten.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Giggity.
Yeah. Now you can't do that because well, first you can't assume that they're girls because it's 2017.
Oh shit.
You can't assume genders. There's 70. There's 76 genders and
76 now.
Yeah, it could be more than that.
Fuck.
Yeah, I identify as an attack helicopter. Or depending on the day, an A10 Warthog.
Are you gender fluid?
Yeah. Sometimes I'm an A10 Warthog. Sometimes I'm an attack helicopter. You know, it depends.
Speaking about that, I miss fucking playing Halo.
God.
Halo was the shit.
It was the shit. When we were talking about the Warhog and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I used to love the first one when you used to
the Warhog was a car, but
yeah.
No, I know. Yeah, but I'm saying.
Oh, okay.
Because I know the Warhog they used to do for the
planes and aircraft
and aircrafts. But I was just remembering because I remember the pistols when you used to run around just start smacking.
My favorite weapon was a fucking Warhammer.
Oh yeah,
the gravity hammer. The gravity hammer.
Yeah, that came out I think for like Halo 2 or 3. Yeah,
those 2.
Yeah, no, but the first one. So it was funny because the pistol being so powerful was actually like a last minute change that one of the developers did.
And then they changed it
because they always said like, dude, the pistol is like the crappiest weapon that everybody gets rid of.
Powerful.
Yeah, they're like it's the weapon that everybody gets rid of first because they don't know how to use it, or like they just like, oh, this sucks.
It was like a Magnum.
Yeah, it was crazy. Well, it was a freaking. It had a scope in it. You could zoom in and take people off from across the map. That shit was crazy, son.
Murked those fools, dude. Remember we used to play. We used to go to Carlos's. We had like 2 Xboxes going. One in the living room, one in the room, and then we connect online.
No, we used to connect them with a cable.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
Yes, you're right.
It was a
LAN cable.
LAN cable.
We used to play like 8 players. Oh no, 4. Right?
No,
four in
no.
each one. Four in each one.
4 in each one. 8
Yeah.
players.
Yeah.
8 players.
Yeah,
That was crazy, man.
That was fun, man.
That was fun. Good times.
It was around time, but Modaka used to hang out as
Yeah.
well.
So
Shout
then
out to Modaka.
Yeah. So then when I went overseas to Iraq, which was in 2005, 2006, somebody was like, "Oh, hey, I have this I have Halo. Like, you can install it on the computer. Do you guys want to set up a LAN?" I was like, "You guys really want to do this?" Fuck, dude, they got mad at me because we used to play, dude. We used to, that was all we did. Like, we were good at that shit.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah, we were.
Dude, we got fucking.
That's
great.
all we used to do.
Dude, we
we
memorized the maps and shit.
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah, we did.
We already knew where to
We knew
hide,
the
who was
spots.
gonna
Yeah,
hide.
we knew where you were going and all that because that's how much we played it. So,
I fucking sucked at that game.
Yeah, you did.
but
But we had nicknames too.
yeah,
Yeah.
Mine was Mangina. Carlos was
Mr.
Mr.
Pink.
Pink.
Yeah.
yeah,
He, you're
Elvis.
Elvis.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Eddie, what were you?
Peanut.
Oh yeah, it was Peanut.
Yeah, it was Peanut.
And then Chewy was what? Was he
Mr. Pig.
Mr. Pig? I don't know. Was he? No, he wasn't Mr. Pig.
No, what was Chewy?
Shit. I don't know. Chewy, if you're listening, let us know.
Yeah,
And we'll
let us
update
know.
you
I
guys
don't
what Chewy
remember.
was.
Yeah, but Halo,
and,
man,
and
that
Alex, what was Alex? Alex was I fucking forgot. I know Modaka was Modaka. So Modaka is our friend Rocky.
who was fuck off Deuce? Somebody was fuck
Oh,
off.
that was Alex.
Deuce, that was
Alex.
Alex.
That was
Yeah,
Alex.
okay.
Fuck off, Deuce. That was
Yeah.
Alex.
That was Alex.
Good call.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
But Modaka, we used to call him Modaka because he was Modaka than you.
Yeah, he was.
He was. He still is.
He still is Modaka.
Yeah.
Shout outs to Rocky.
I haven't seen that.
I
for
texted him
long
a couple of weeks ago. He said he's doing good.
Good,
good.
man. I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah,
awesome.
me too.
time. Yeah.
Let me see. I'm gonna tag him on this this post to see if I can.
See if he chimes
Second
in.
season.
That's funny.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
anything new for you, with you guys, or
Not really, man.
Well,
how was this week for you guys?
It was a week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It wasn't all.
You just started working, right? It's already
Yeah.
2 weeks already.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
just
it's been-
some crazy stuff going on at work, but putting
Yeah.
out fires. But other than that, like we pretty much got it settled now, so it's one of
That's
those
good.
like
That's a fire.
yeah, people
You know what? That
do
91. I gotta say, I did not miss that 91 freeway.
No, I'm pretty sure you didn't.
that shit was.
That thing's
Speaking of
crazy.
fires,
Speaking
that
of
shit
fires,
was,
man, dude, first day on the job, fire goes. So I had to kind of chill at my aunt's house. She lives in Anaheim Hills, and had to chill there until it died
Yeah.
down. But it never died down. So it was like 9 or 10 o'clock, and so I was like, "Fuck it!" I was gonna take the 91 to the 57 to the 60.
Yeah,
That's what I
All
had
the
to
way
do.
around. Yeah,
Yeah,
damn.
go all the way around, man.
yeah, you
'cause-
have to because that place. I mean that was like. It was crazy.
was a
Somebody
big ass fucking
had
fire.
sent me a video about it, and they were on the freeway, and it was like it just looked crazy, man.
It looked like what was that movie with the volcano in LA?
Can I get the bottle?
Oh, Volcano in LA. I don't know. I don't know what the name.
Volcano.
I remember watching it too.
With
I
the something Lee, Tommy Lee.
Wait, I think you're thinking about something else. The one with Pam Anderson? That's a different video.
No.
That was a different kind of
Not
eruption.
the drummer.
That was a different kind of eruption than that one.
Not from Motley Crue.
Yeah,
No,
oh,
the
okay.
actor from Men in Black, Tommy Lee Jones.
Oh yeah, no, I don't. I don't.
But anyways, but yeah, that's what it looked like. Like everything was on fire.
Yeah, like the one, and I remember that movie. That was the one where like the volcano was like where the La Brea tar pits were,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Yeah. I don't remember what that's called.
That was a good movie. That was a good film.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it was pretty. I mean, it was scary because my aunt, my other aunt, she lives in Corona Hills,
Yeah.
off of
Yeah.
Green River.
Oh,
So she couldn't go home.
No,
So she was there at my aunt's house.
you're pretty much stuck. Like,
Yeah.
fuck, my house could be on fire right now.
Yeah, so my poor aunt was like freaking out. Like, shit, my house might catch on fire. Her son's dog was there. Ellie was there, like on her own. So we were contacting people that were near there, like contacting her neighbors.
Yeah.
Like my other aunt's friends live near there. So like, hey, can you do us a favor and try to get the dog? So they tried to get the dog, but the dog didn't know them. So she was like barking at them. And just would run into the garage and just keep barking. So they're like, "I'm sorry, I can't get her. Like she won't allow us." So, in the end, my mom and my brother ended up going and
Yeah.
opening the garage, and she recognized them, and so she went with them, and luckily they saved the dog.
That's awesome.
You think everything's fine?
How's the
everything's
house? How's
good?
everything?
Yeah.
good?
You
Yeah.
wake up and you're on fire.
And you're on fire. And but luckily her house was good. Didn't catch on fire.
Yeah,
But it's,
I think that fire only. We were talking about it earlier today. I think it only got 4 buildings were affected,
yeah,
Oh, really?
which
is insane because of how big that fire was. It was burning for like
kudos
2 or
to
3
the
days.
firemen, man.
I
Yeah,
know
that's
they're in
crazy.
there and yeah.
Fire people. You can't
Fire
assume their
people.
gender.
Oh, my bad.
Yeah.
The fire folk.
The- That's well.
The fire.
Are they people?
I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't assume, right?
The wow. What do we even call them?
The fire engineers.
I guess we
No,
can
that's
call
kind of
them.
broad. Yeah.
Is that broad
It's
enough?
about
Yeah, I
enough,
think so.
Okay, these
Yeah.
fire engineers. I don't want to. I don't want to
The
offend
fire.
anybody.
The fire beings.
The fire beans.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, who's the fireman is Trump.
Fireman.
Yeah, he used to fire people all the time.
Oh, that's true.
I got
That's
lame
true.
jokes, people. I got lame
You
jokes.
fired.
Dad jokes.
Dad jokes galore. Ask me. I got dad jokes.
Man.
It's almost 2 hours.
Really?
Yeah, we're almost at 2 hours. I can feel it because of the terrible chair.
Yeah.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah.
Thanks for pointing that out, Rebecca. Once again, I think we're gonna have to invest in some better chairs.
She would notice
Yeah.
that.
She would. She notices like the littlest details.
Well, we're just dudes.
I
We're
could-
like,
I could
it's
try
a
to-
chair. It's a chair. It holds my ass. I'm fine. Like,
But when you have no ass like I do,
that's true. That's
Well,
It's
I
painful.
have the plastic ones.
I was gonna say, like, do you have an ass?
a
Is it
plastic ass.
I do.
Wow.
I do.
Wow, that's
Kim
insane.
Kardashian ass?
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
I've seen pictures of that. I'm like, dude, that's terrible.
Fucking full diaper.
Gross.
It looks bad. Like the
Sorry,
Uh,
Kim.
Yeah.
Sorry, not sorry.
No, I'm definitely not sorry. But I mean, she made us popular, I guess. From I think that was the shift, man.
That's a whole
That was a
episode,
shift.
Yeah.
That was-
Because remember the 90s, it was all about huge boobs
yeah,
in the 90s.
Yeah.
And now it's like all about ass. I've always been an ass man.
fake asses.
Myself.
Me too.
He said me too.
Again,
Well,
even with boobs, they don't have to be big to be nice. It doesn't have to be a big ass to be a nice ass.
That's true.
yeah.
I mean, yeah, same thing with boobs. So I mean, that's the hint. It's,
And now
you
we
know,
know as soon as we start drinking.
As you can see, the whiskey has.
taking over this podcast.
Well,
no, not really.
well, yeah, we're definitely.
Now we
more
did
than
some
halfway
damage to
through
that
the
thing, though, dude. Look at that.
We are.
So that's
It's really good.
Once we get to halfway, once
I
we get-
recommend it. Oh man, this seems delicious, dude.
halfway, dude. We're
No, that's more than halfway.
more than halfway.
So by the time I think that's the rating system is if we get to half a bottle, like that's how you know it's good.
Yeah, that's true.
I think so far this one and the Henry McKenna and the
And
Buffalo Trace. Buffalo Trace, I think we got that down at like 3/4.
I think, yeah.
Where is that? You took them?
No,
No, it's
I always
here.
leave them here.
Oh, they're probably
I always leave them here. So we
I
can-
never touch them.
so we can revisit them.
Yeah, there you go.
Earlier-
I never touch them when we're
Earlier,
there.
Carlos, our friend Carlos, commented saying that we need to get this little white empty space here and do something with it.
We're
So
trying to think of something.
eventually, we're either going to put a flag. I know Larry was talking about
Whiskey Rebellion flag.
We'll talk
Yeah.
about that if we get the. We
We'll
will
talk
eventually
about the
get
history
flag.
of it.
Yeah, we'll talk about the history about it. Eventually, one of these
Yeah.
podcasts.
Or-
That or you know what?
Or
We can
whiskey
make our
show-
own. We can
whiskey
make it.
shows.
We can make our
Yeah,
own
whiskey
flag, our
shows.
own banner.
We'll design something. We'll ask our designer Moose,
Yeah, thanks to him, he's the one that designed our logo. He's awesome.
and Moose. Congratulations on your
Your new baby girl,
new
baby girl.
baby girl coming, man.
That's right.
Oh, really?
Yes,
Crazy.
baby
That
girl
was
coming.
crazy.
Yes,
I'm happy for him.
It's about damn time.
That's my dude.
We're all
right
getting
there.
old,
That's
man.
my
We're
dude.
getting old.
No digas eso.
So-
Don't say that.
It's true, dude.
It's
No.
life, man. It happens.
Chasing
No.
after
No.
a toddler, man, is crazy.
Yeah.
It does take a lot out of you.
I think I fucked up for waiting so long because at least when you're younger, you have a lot more energy.
Well, yeah.
And right now, we're 33, right? Eddie, you're 34.
Yeah, I'll be 35 next year.
It's not a bad. It's still not a bad age.
It's not a bad
It's
age.
not.
It's not, but still,
I'm still my prime.
I
God
noticed-
damn it.
I notice I have less energy. I'll say that much. And trying to raise a kid at this age is probably gonna be tough. But hey,
Maybe.
It's probably
Maybe.
not as tough as raising it when you're 19 or 20. Like
I guess,
think
yeah.
I'd rather do the other route.
true.
Yeah.
Good point. When you're more settled, more established, right?
Yeah, of course.
So just
I
so
don't know,
you
that's
guys know,
interesting.
next week we're gonna have Brian Mason.
Yes, Brian Mason. He is our. I've known Brian for quite a long time.
Yeah, I haven't seen him in a while. I saw him
You know
like a
what?
couple.
I went to elementary school with him.
Yeah.
He was going to. I might be wrong. I might be right. I don't know. Whatever. I might be drunk.
Might be.
Might be a little bit of
I
both.
think I'm right. I think I'm right there with you, buddy.
All right, sweet. So, So Brian Mason went to Sunny Slope, and I think he transferred to another school afterwards. But yeah, I've known Brian for quite a while, and now Brian is an attorney.
Yeah, he's an attorney, and he's gonna talk about his struggles being an attorney, and it's very interesting. You guys should really tune in for that one.
It's gonna be great.
Let's not give too much of it away.
Yeah, I don't want to give anything.
No,
away,
we're
so
not.
you just tune in. It's really good.
We'll give you guys a taste. We're like the drug dealers of information.
Yeah.
We'll give you guys a
First
taste, and then
First
I want the rest.
First one's free.
First one's
Just a tip.
You know, I can't. I don't know, but I miss doing this because we missed it 1 week, and I was like, dude, I was like a crack addict. Like,
You know,
I was excited for it. Yeah.
Yeah, but
I mean,
it didn't happen
I
just
was
because
looking for. No, I know.
Logistics.
For me, this was what I was looking for the end of the week, like
Me
the
too.
weekend.
Me too.
I wasn't looking for it like, because I don't have to go to work. I was like, because I want to do the podcast. Like,
Exactly. Yeah.
You know.
This has really been a blast. It's been quite the experience, and I want to thank Eddie for inviting me. Actually, this was Eddie's idea.
Awesome,
this was his
No,
baby,
no.
and Eddie invited me. He's like, "Hey, man, so I've been thinking about starting a podcast, and I'd like you to join me." So yeah, and then eventually we added Larry.
Yeah,
and,
which is perfect.
I'd like to thank Whiskey for
Me too.
being there for us and being awesome and always being delicious.
Yeah,
Always.
Yeah.
It's been delicious.
I think we've kind of grown into whiskey. Like whiskey's always
Yeah.
been one of my things. Like if like
The reason why I wanted to speak the whole. You remember when we first started? I was like, man, we should have like a whiskey kind of thing. 'Cause
Yeah.
I always think that whiskey is so relaxing when you're off of work, and like after a hard day of
I think it's a
bullshit, and you come home and
it's a Hollywood cultural thing where it's like you watch movies and like, I'm just gonna have some whiskey.
exactly,
It's
or a
Ameri-
cigarette, but yeah, no,
It's America.
no more.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's America.
it's America.
Yeah, I
America.
because it's one of those things, right? Like, yeah, it's so
Yeah.
you can take a shot of whiskey. That's one thing,
You can.
but at least for something like this, man, if
Yeah.
you just shot this stuff, that kind of you'd be doing yourself a disservice.
Exactly.
You've been
Yeah,
missing
'cause
out on a lot of good
I
stuff.
like how it's funny how we're talking about ages and stuff. We're 35, 34, 32, or however.
33. Yeah.
I missed it that year. But the thing is you know how we grown from beer to like
Even our taste in
tequila.
shitty beer.
Even our
And shitty beer.
yeah, even our taste in beer has gotten a lot better.
Yeah,
Because in high
exactly.
school, my idea of drinking was like Smirnoff Ice.
Oh,
First,
exactly.
and it was funny because I encountered the first beer that I ever got drunk off of this weekend, which was Rolling Rock.
Oh, okay.
And that's the first beer I ever got really.
The
drunk
first
off
one
of.
I got it had to be Foster's.
Mine was Budweiser, and it was the worst hangover ever.
I remember one of my cousins, Hornitos, the tequila. They got me so drunk on that thing.
Oh, from
Salsa.
the first hard liquor I ever had and got drunk off
That
of
was my first one.
Presidente.
Oh, some rum?
Yeah.
So you had rum?
Is it rum?
It's rum.
Oh, yeah.
Presidente's rum.
Yeah. Not good times.
Yeah. I think the first...
Hey, let us know who's watching, who's still watching. If you guys have any questions or you guys want to,
So just
Get
some
in
whiskey.
yeah, get some whiskey.
So you had mentioned
We still
about
have whiskey.
shooting whiskey or whatnot.
Yeah.
One of our this month we have pretty booked. We have a pretty good lineup. We have Brian Mason coming up,
Uh-huh.
and then Rebecca Brent's going to join us. She's
Awesome.
coming down at the end of the month.
Mhm.
Speaking of getting shot. Oh wait, no. Like
Savage.
yeah.
And then at the beginning of the month, we're going to bring back Javier. He's going to talk about his products actually launching, his coffee cups launching.
Oh,
So he wants to come and talk about that and show us the prototype this time. And then I'm gonna have my buddy and his wife they were his wife was a surrogate for someone that was trying to get
That's gonna be
pregnant.
interesting, bro. That's next level.
So speaking
shit
about
right
taking
there.
shots, I was talking to him. I was like, so does your wife like to have whiskey? She's like, well, she likes the hard liquor, but she'll probably like want to take a shot of it and stuff like that. All right, well, that's okay if she wants to take a shot with it, but
Yeah.
we'll have to do something, a special whiskey, I guess, and maybe we
We
Good
can bring
call.
that one back.
Good
Exactly. Yeah.
maybe for that podcast we can have that Toki, and she might not want to just shoot it and might want to just
Wanna
sip and
enjoy it.
enjoy
This
it.
is so enjoyable. Like, I don't know.
I'm telling you.
It's right there with McKenna.
I think.
Actually, they're like one.
I think-
Very, very close.
Exactly.
Very close.
Very
in
close.
terms of yeah, it's like depending on how you feel, right?
Yeah,
I don't
exactly.
think for me, I don't think you can go wrong either way. This is a nice change of pace from bourbons, though.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, that's yeah, it's nice. But I think it's a very good. It's not intimidating. Again.
It's 43% alcohol, 86 proof. So
yeah.
That's really good though.
Yeah, well, that bottle's getting pretty low, man.
I know.
it really is.
Good thing is that it's
What does Chewy usually?
What's up
my
with
brother
Illinois?
drink?
So this is imported to Illinois. So I also know that Corona is imported.
maybe they just have.
Yeah,
really
they're
good
imported from
alcohol laws,
Chicago.
Yeah, Illinois, Chicago.
Oh, we'll see.
Maybe they have really good like alcohol laws where it's not taxed, or
Yeah, where it's more relaxed.
it's got to be something like that. Yeah, that's crazy. Imagine being there and like receiving all this delicious whiskey.
Oh God, yes. Maybe
Well, probably 90 is to carry it to the truck or something like that.
And we definitely
Motherfucking whiskey, no.
we definitely have to make our own batch.
That would be cool.
Try it out.
that would be.
We gotta try it out.
That would be cool.
So Centauri whiskey, very good whiskeys, and this Toki, I mean, we definitely recommend from what we can hear us talking about.
Yeah, we're kind of rambling at this point.
We
I think
are at
we've,
this point.
We've had quite a few.
I think it's time to.
Yeah, it's-
We're gonna wrap it up.
We are.
yeah, I think so. Wrap that
Wrap it
shit
up,
up, B.
So guys, so yeah, definitely thank you guys for joining us. We
We're
had a
gonna
great
keep on
time.
drinking.
Yeah.
We are gonna keep on drinking. It's Friday. And, I think we switched from. So my cousin earlier he commented. He said, "What's up? What happened to the Sunday talks?" I think we switched it to more like Fridays, Saturdays, just because it's more convenient for us. Because the next day, Mondays, we have to work, and
Yeah.
I think this way we can just.
And I felt
sit
last
back.
week. Last week I felt it when I was.
Dude,
doing
you were just
Dude,
that
that thing
Buffalo
was bomb,
Trace.
That
bro.
Buffalo Trace is going down smooth.
I know.
son.
Even Larry's like, he's like, God damn.
Eddie claimed that as his own. He was like, this is so
This is-
good.
Yeah,
It's just
definitely,
delicious.
definitely enjoying it.
Buffalo Trace was
But yeah, I think Friday and Saturday probably works out better
more
for
optimal.
Yeah.
for us, and I
exactly.
think it works out better for. I mean, listener wise, I think we had more people kind of tune in and out.
Yeah.
and
I think people that we know are older, and I think going out Fridays, you get off of work, you don't really want to go out that much. You just want to just go home and just chill and just recharge.
Yeah. I know the
Um,
Dodgers are playing right now.
I know when we were younger, like if it was Friday, like,
Oh, yeah,
fuck
party
yeah, let's
time.
go out.
Yeah,
What are we going to? What are we doing?
What bar?
Yeah.
Now it's like, all right, I'm just gonna chill.
I'm just gonna hang out.
I had quite
It's
the
been a
week.
long week, yeah.
Yeah, it's been quite the week, guys. But
Dude, and that's perfect, right? Like at the end of the week, just the first thing you do is just enjoy some nice whiskey. I mean,
Exactly.
oh, it's so good.
Good.
It's so good, dude. Honestly, I don't want to stop drinking it.
I don't think we will. So we're gonna probably cut this.
before it gets too out of hand.
Yes, but thank you guys for joining us, man. And
Yeah,
I'm gonna have my message for you guys. Is the same thing as every week, man. Just learn, grow, and never settle because you're worth it. Your family's worth it. And if you never settle, man, if you get better, it's not so much that you feel better than other people. It's just you'll be able to help a lot more people. Because if you're poor, you can't help other poor people. If you're rich enough or whatnot or successful enough, you'll be able to inspire and help a lot more people that way instead of just settling.
Yeah, and even not just rich monetarily,
rich, yeah,
but
no.
spiritually,
And knowledge wise.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that works too.
For sure.
But yeah, man, I think with everything that happened this week and everything, and the passing of Ralphie May, that was today.
Oh, really?
God rest his soul. Yeah.
I didn't even know that.
45 years old, dude.
45 years
No
young.
way.
Yeah.
But you know what? He was
he had some health issues.
he had some health issues, but
Wow,
that
he
dude
was
was
a funny guy.
hilarious. He brought a lot of joy.
To a lot
I
of
want to say
people.
to a lot of people, man.
I didn't know that.
But yeah, I mean, like, you know, I guess I'm stealing Joey D's quote from earlier this week, and you know, it just kind of stealing that idea and saying, hey, man, it's a nice day to tell somebody you love them, take the time to, you know,
I love that.
reach out and I mean, hang out with somebody that you haven't talked to for a while.
Yeah.
Text that person that you think might be going through a rough time and see how they're doing, because I mean, you might make all the difference.
I know.
Absolutely.
Amen to that one. I love that. And me, you know, you guys, like I say, like Edgar says too, you know, just go out there, and if you don't like what you're doing, just change it. You know, this week has been a tough week for me and for work and stuff like that. I'm starting to understand myself and trying to see what I really want to do. So sometimes you get into the struggles and you're trying to figure out what you want to do, and you know, sometimes you look to God, and like myself, like I really look into God and stuff like that. I know I'm getting kind of deep, but the thing is that, you know, sometimes you need that, and I just leave it in God's hand, and it is what it is. And you know, you guys go out there, do what you need to do to the best of your ability, and you know what, I love you guys, and you know, have a good week, have a good weekend, and enjoy
Absolutely.
it.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right,
Cheers.
bye.
This whiskey's so good.
It is so delicious.